What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Man, I am enjoying life today. You know, it is one of those days where I was just super excited to see you, to do the show. Because it was like, yo, we got stuff we got to talk about on air. We got stuff we got to talk about off the air. I mean, it's just exciting time, man. And then for me, I'm a couple days in now, 2 days in now of OTA practices, man, being around the guys, getting the itch back, man. It was feeling good being out there, man. So I'm just in a good space right now, baby. It's a really good space for me, man. But how are you living, man? Got the taco meat out again, looking real, Miami Vice-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this look on. You know that.
Life's good. Can't complain. I'm with you. We got a little hint of football, so I'm getting excited.
We do, bro. We definitely do. Like, that's been the hardest part for me, though, is trying to, like, tame my excitement and follow the rules as well. Because for those that don't know,
tuning into your reports.
I'm about to say here, for those that don't know, I have special access.
Your reports are hurting.
Chill out. Trust me on this. You're going to be excited in the end. You'll be excited in the end, without a doubt. But, I get to be down there, man. I get to, see the whole practice early, stay late, all of that. Just stuff that the typical media people aren't allowed to do. I'm loving it, man. But it's like, it's almost like knowing what you're getting for Christmas and you can't say anything until Christmas. So I'm always like, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing, but I got to wait till like a day later. Like, all right. Did they talk about that yet? Has it? All right, now I can share. Now I can talk some more about it. So, we're in a good space right now, man. We should be enough time in between that I can talk about both practices and more details. So I'm really, really excited about that, man.
You're talking about on the podcast.
Absolutely, today.
Breaking news.
I see.
Breaking reports.
Now you trying to throw breaking news and all these labels up there, man. You're going to get these people really looking. And then before you know it, I'm going to get a phone call. And I don't want a phone call today, D.
But we're able to ask questions.
No, but we are, yeah.
And you can kind
I
of
can
nod your
answers,
head.
Yeah, so like certain
beat around the bush. You figure it out.
Yeah, so certain things, for example, like yesterday with Stephon Tuitt, I probably knew at 8:30, 9 o'clock that he was no-go, But it was like, you can't say it. You just got to sit there and wait on it, which was cool. I was cool with that. Him and that. Funny thing, I started to text you, though. Because we were talking earlier that day, and I was like, man, I should just shoot this over to Deke real quick.
And I got some exclusive footage.
Yeah, you do. I did see your vid. I did. Because you're my guy. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I know he's going to want to see this content right here.
I like
it. Little Kenny Pickett, little action. I was like, yo, Deke is going to want to see this vid. I can't show this vid to everyone because I would get in trouble. 100% I would. But I was like, yo, Deke, that's your guy. I'm going to send it to you, bro.
Thanks. Dude.
So I felt good knowing that you was going to like that vid. And I'm glad to hear that you actually did like the vid, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, man.
It was good.
No doubt.
So I'm excited to hear what you got to say for OTAs.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we got some other breaking news that happened. Omar Khan.
Absolutely, man. Omar Khan and Andy, was it Andy Weidl? I think that's how you say his last name.
Is it? I thought it was Weidl. Okay, Weidl.
Man, I've heard Weidl. I've heard Wow. I've heard Weld.
Weld.
Yeah, dude. I've heard all type of names today.
Isn't the L after the D?
Yeah, but apparently it's supposed to be like, it's pronounced like it was as if it was L-E or something weird like that. I forgot who was trying to explain it to me earlier today. And I'm like on air trying to get that. So I probably didn't even hear it the way I needed to hear it. I've been calling him Andy just to be safe.
Okay.
All right. But either way, we're going to talk about that as well, man. And we still got NBA action also going on, man. Definitely getting exciting out there. East Coast, West Coast action, man. So without further ado, man, let's start the show the way that we start the show. Let us know where you are tuning in from so we can give you those big boy shout outs. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Stephen Smith, 919 to the 949.
Stephen Smith, where the A at? He ain't got that's a regular Stephen. All right.
And I'm seeing some comments too. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up. We got people talking about Texas stuff. A lot of prayers up for Texas.
Man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely horrendous, man. The mass shooting that went on down there in Texas, was that yesterday, I believe it was? Or it was yesterday, 2 days ago.
I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday during the day.
Yeah, earlier during the day, yeah. I think, 19 people that lost their lives, man, between children and 2 teachers and stuff like that, man. Just absolutely horrendous, man. It's crazy that we keep having these type of things happen, man. Unreal. Absolutely unreal, man. But hopefully we can start having less of these, man. And
yeah, because what was it, 2 weeks ago up in Buffalo,
not even
right?
2 weeks. It was a week ago. Like, this craziness, man. And it becomes like we've heard people talk about before, really desensitized because of how frequently it's happening. But it's just tragic, man, when you think about these are innocent people losing their lives. And in this case, adolescents, man, elementary school kids, man. Shoot, we dropped our kids off earlier today. Was thinking about it like, man, this is nuts. Really hits home, man. Definitely does, man. But gonna keep them in our prayers like we always do, and just hope that us as a nation can continue to work through this issue that we have, man. Yeah, I don't think it's one particular thing or another from my personal, feelings on that thing, man. But as a whole, I just think that we all got to come together and figure out better ways to, if it is mental health, handle that. If it is gun reform, handle that. Whatever we feel it is, man, take your time, put your resources into it, man, to just help that area, man, because it's going to take each and every one of us, excuse me.
For sure. We got Jar Devil. 310 San Pedro, California.
Let's get it, man.
Black and Yellow Texas Steel, the 210.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of Texas in the house, too, man. That's the thing, too. We always got people from Texas tuning in, man.
We do.
Yeah.
Joe Anderson, 954. Richard Arbizo, the 310, Carson, California.
Let's get it.
Double L, the 828, Mars Hill, North Carolina in the house.
Let's go.
Jaron, 410, Annapolis, Maryland.
Uh-oh. Let me get one real quick. Can I hop in real quick?
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. First off, I got Todd Sikowski. He says, hey, yo, from the 5202 Tucson, Arizona. You know that. But then we got Javon Kinley, the 412, and he says he is graduating in 3 hours. Shout out to you, Javon, if that is the case, man. We hope that you have an amazing graduation, and we're actually glad that you're tuning in with us to, pre-game said graduation. So turn up, baby, turn up. Then after that, man, I got to shout out my man Brian Wilson, 757, a.k.a. The Crib, and B. Moore, Steeler Graham, the 410, Baltimore, Maryland in the house. Shout out to my Baltimore people. Yes, indeed. All right, that was all I had for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go from where you just left off. Rob
All
Dawes.
right, shout out then. Let's go.
330, Youngstown, Ohio. Share a line, baby.
Let's go.
I'll do a few more. Nathan Thadden, 915. Jacob Malacio says 919 in the house as always.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got Jared Kraft, the 614, Columbus.
Nah, salute, man. Definitely salute you, baby.
I think we'll leave off on that one.
All righty. Like, we got some supers popping up as well, man, so let's tap in that, and then, yeah, we'll start these conversations off, man, because there's plenty that we're going to be talking about, man. I like days like today. It's days like today, man, I get excited.
A lot of news.
Absolutely, man.
Cal Monier, new era in Pittsburgh. I love it. Hashtag Omar for Prezi.
Yes, indeed. Omar Khan, man. All the reports are saying that he will be getting that GM spot, man. So we're going to definitely talk about that a lot more in depth later on throughout the show, man. But yeah, man, shout out to Omar Khan, baby. Yes, indeed.
Moises Sombrano says, trade Benny Snell Jr.
Oh, no.
And Mason Rudolph to get J.J. Watt or James Bradbury. We can't get James Bradbury.
James literally just signed.
We can't do that.
Just signed.
Maybe you could do the J.J. Watt, but those cap numbers do not add up at all.
Yeah.
Benny Snell and Mason.
Well,
JJ's
I was going to say, if you're the Cardinals,
digits.
why would you want to take those two for J.J.? Healthy JJ when he was in Arizona, he had some games when he was healthy.
Yeah, you just signed James Conner and you have Kyler Murray. Unless you think Kyler Murray's not coming back this season, he's going to hold out.
But Mason doesn't even fit that mold of offense, though.
I don't know.
Hey, shout out to Benny Snell, though.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out to Benny Snell, man.
And I don't want J.J. Watt here. He had his chance. What was it, last offseason?
2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? 1 year, 2 years?
I think it was last offseason.
Yeah, it might have just been
last year. He signed with the Cardinals, right?
Absolutely.
He had his chance.
He definitely did. He chose money over family. Can't trust him.
Now his cap hits too much, and I don't want to deal with that.
Absolutely.
I'm predicting that Kenny Pickett will be the starter for week 1 through the bye week. Whoa. What's he saying here?
Oh, and he's going to get pulled? Is that what you implied? That's what it sounds like. That's how you read it, right?
Yeah, why not week 1 through week 18?
That's what I was going to say, man. I don't like that energy. Don't throw him out there and then yank him back now. Come on, we ain't doing that.
Q. Thoughts on Omar Khan and Andy Weidl as GM and assistant GM? Well, we'll get to that.
We're going to get to that because we got plenty on the table with that because we know this affects not just them, but a couple of other people that were, involved in the second and final interview process, man, guys that were in-house. So we're definitely going to talk about them on a lot more later.
Moises Sombrano, TJ Watt will break Michael Strahan's record. Watt brothers on the same team. I guess this is if the whole J.J. Watt trade goes through. He says, plus Mitch Trubisky, will be the starter after the bye week through week 18. So he just confirmed it right there.
There we go. Okay.
That's what he was saying.
He went with the flip-flop. All right. Well,
yeah, everyone's saying the opposite.
We'll definitely talk a lot more about that, especially when we start talking about OTAs, man. I'm super excited to talk about these quarterbacks today. But TJ Watt breaking Michael Strahan's record, yeah, I don't see why that's unattainable. I mean, he tied it and played 2 less games, 14 games if I remember correctly, and realistically, it probably wasn't even 14 full games because we said 2 of the games we knew he was definitely banged up in, or did not even finish those games.
Left halfway through.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think that's like anything too crazy, man. Without a doubt, I hope he wins it. Hope he breaks that record, man. I ain't gonna lie, I saw him today. My man looked amazing. All right, I'm talking, man. He even had a little rip in his little shirt, man. Bicep bursting out, bro.
Oh, wow.
So you've been hitting the gym a little bit. I like it, TJ. Shout out to you.
Good news. Good reporting by you. AJ
Man,
Martinez.
I try to do my best, you know? Yeah.
He says, isn't happy hour anytime?
Bruh.
Johnny Depp?
Bruh.
Did Johnny Depp say that?
I am leaving it alone.
Did he say that in Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna lie. When you started talking happy hours, for me, my mind went happy ending. And then I was just thinking about how earlier today I was seeing the 2 young ladies that were talking on Outside the Lines about the Deshaun Watson stuff. I was like, I don't like where my mind was going with that whole situation right there.
Oh, so it wasn't Outside the Lines.
Yeah, it wasn't even. Yeah,
it was serious.
Yeah, one of them HBO 60-minute. Sit down, talk to me. Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if they telling the truth or not, but I just didn't like it.
Oh, it was the girls that accused Deshaun Watson.
Young ladies.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, we know in terms of the 2 grand juries, both have declined to pull up criminal charges. But we know he still has the civil suits. This is just them using the media to kind of get their voice out there even more so. But like I said, for me, it was kind of like, it's one of them things like, you don't know if a person's telling the truth or not. I've never seen, talked, or even interacted with them. So it's like, you're just taking them for face value. But it's just like, gosh, man, when you
hear the story
stuff, you're just like, bruh, if that is true, holy cow. But then I'm like, if it is true, how the heck didn't the grand jury pick this up? So then I'm just like, I'm conflicted because one is like literally the whole court process, and they're like, no, we're good 2 times, and then the other is I'm watching these young ladies up here, and the one lady is like crying. I'm like, hey man, I'm a sucker for it, all right? So it's kind of limbo. I'm glad we're not dealing with it right now.
Quality Koalas just giving us a donation.
Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
shout out, man. Salute you, baby.
Camonier. He says, just want to say I called it. Yeah, the Tatum and the Celtics win.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Tatum
you
with
did.
30 plus and a dub.
Yes, you did, man.
Steeler Nation on fire. Congratulations to Omar Khan for the GM job. Well deserved, but I really wanted Riddick to be our new GM.
All right, I can understand, but trust me, we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna help you. We're gonna work through this process. We either gonna be feeling really good about it, or we're gonna feel a little skeptical about it. But either way, we're gonna feel really informed about this thing, man. When we get to that part of the show today, man, believe that.
Jacob Malacio. He says prayers for his wife. Not doing good at all. That's unfortunate because his wife's been dealing this for a little bit here.
Seriously, man. Absolutely, man. Definitely sending our prayers your way, man. Let her know, man. We thinking about her and we supporting her, all right, man? And you stay strong too, baby. Yes, indeed.
Come on, yeah. Y'all ready?
Uh-oh.
Okay, he's got another hypothetical.
Uh-oh.
He told me on my Twitch stream yesterday he had something cooked up. Pat and Gentry go down.
All right, here we go.
We need 2 tight ends for a big game.
Okay.
All in their Steelers prime.
Just Steelers prime.
Just Steelers prime. Vance McDonald, Jesse James, Ebron, Matt Spaeth. Ooh.
Oh, you said 2 of them, right? I can pick 2?
I think I go with the first 2.
Nah, I'm going Ebron and Jesse.
Ebron.
You said Steelers prime, right?
Vance had like 600 yards one season.
That's cool.
The Tampa Bay truck too.
That's cool.
I'm either thinking Vance Jesse or Vance Ebron. So Ebron's
Jesse's
not dropping anything, is what we're saying.
I'm just saying if I could take one game, I'm taking the Colts game.
No, Steeler prime.
I said I'm taking when he played the Colts. Was that not this year? The year when Mika had the pick 6? Didn't he? I thought he saw somebody up and everything. He was we lined him out wide and everything. Was that the Colts game? It was one of those games where I definitely saw him have like one of his moments, man. Yeah, but to me, the reason, regardless of game by game, the reason why I'm taking Ebron over Vance, Ebron's a better athlete to me. Mm-hmm. I think Vance is tougher, but Vance's hands, to me, are worse than Ebron. I just think that we featured Ebron more, so it showed up a lot more, whereas we weren't featuring Vance because we had Jesse. Jesse was the guy that we were throwing that ball to. I'm always going to ride with Jesse because to me, Jesse is one of, those short-handed guys. He's versatile. He can block when he needs to. He has great size and length. So that's the main reason why Jesse is always going to be included. But I like Ebron better as a player and as a matchup. I think of just defending both of these guys. Ebron when he was in Detroit, obviously Vance when he was with me in Pittsburgh. Ebron's tough. Ebron's very fluid in terms of how he runs routes. And when he's healthy, I think that he could be really good. Problem is sometimes not as healthy and then more so just not as consistent as he needs to be. But that's why I leaned Ebron over Vance.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking with Ebron is the drops. That's the only thing.
But he said prime, so I'm thinking like if I can get best case scenario, so that means one drop, then I'm rolling with Ebron. Because we're not going to act like Vance didn't lead the league in drops himself when we traded for him. He had, 13, 14 drops in the season one year, the year that we picked him up.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that one year he was pretty good for us.
Yeah, that's cool,
600,
man.
Better blocker than Ebron, too. I get your case because I want Ebron. Like, if this was Madden, Ebron would be my first pick. And especially with him and his potential, his athleticism. And like you said, he's the best receiver out of all these guys. I do worry about the blocking. How much are we using two tight end sets? So you're probably rolling with Jesse James as your number one guy.
Why wouldn't I be?
And then you're having Ebron in for special formations.
But that's why I'm trying to figure out why you weren't including Jesse on your list. You like Vance and Jesse or Vance and Ebron. I'm like, Jesse, my number one. Because he could block. He gonna run route. Well, he ain't running crazy routes, but he can get open. He can catch. And yes, he caught that ball in the Patriots game, just throwing it out there too. So he catches them in big moments. So I like, for me, Jesse is definitely my number one. But then after that, I go Ebron.
You're right, because I think in terms of blocking tight ends here too, I think he's a little bit more dynamic than Matt Spaeth.
Yeah, because Spaeth is definitely the best blocker of all these guys.
He is, yeah.
But I think Jesse gives me the best of both worlds.
I'm with you.
And then from there, it's pick your poison, Ebron or Vance, man.
I'll go with the truck. I'll go with the van. I'll stick with what I initially said.
The Vanimal? You called him right, the Vanimal?
I'll go with that truck or the stiff arm that he gave on the Bucks.
It might have been different for me also if I was here when that happened. I remember watching that play. I was on crutches. My knee was in a brace. I was sitting in a steakhouse in Arizona. Yep. Because I was supposed to be a good teammate and, be all into the Cardinals, but I still have my love for the Steelers. And I was like, listen, I know y'all guys are game planning and all that stuff, but I'm going to watch my guys play. So, yeah, I definitely was in there by myself rooting for my Steelers. Shout out to my dogs, man.
Moises Sombrano, prime Ben Roethlisberger offense and a prime Terry Bradshaw defense. So, basically, we win Super Bowl back-to-back.
Is that what you're saying we have right now?
I'm good with it. I don't think it's that. I mean, come on.
I was about to say I know what I'm seeing. I don't think it's like that, but I can
imagine if we did have those two things. Holy hell, that's a hell of a team. Because we're prime Ben Roethlisberger offense. We're taking one of the killer bees, right?
Right.
Probably 2017. We had Martavis, Juju.
I say
AB.
either 17 or was it 17 or 15? What was the year where
AB cooked in 15.
15. That was the year because that was the year he should have had the 2K, but that's when Ben had got hurt. Missed what?
He missed like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. But Ben was cooking that year too.
One of those seasons in the Killer Bee era with the 70s defense with like Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, and Mel Blount.
It's a joke, bro. Yeah.
Come on.
Seriously.
I'm with you. I can't say we have that right now.
Listen. When I watch, and this is the other funny part for me too, right? When we're in here doing it, it's fun. And it's like I think of the players, but the alumni doesn't hit as hard when we're in this setting. Even when I'm in the studio doing my other show, the alumni doesn't hit as hard. When I'm out there and I'm seeing my guys, I'm dapping, talking to coach, like that's when the alumni really comes out. And even then, I still did not feel like it was to that level just yet. And that's a lot because the alumni was out. The alumni is out. When I'm out there, oh man, it's there, Deke. They might be confusing me with you at times, Deke. That's how the optimism hits me when I'm down there with my guys. But yeah, I didn't feel like that today. No, I didn't feel like that yesterday. Yesterday was the first day. So, first day, you optimism through the roof. Did not feel like that. Can't say I did, man.
Zach Miller, what cornerback receiver matchup are you guys most excited about in camp?
Oh, man. I'll tell you right now. No, it's Akello and Pickens. It's Wallace and Claypool. I like, oh my goodness, who's the other one? Sutton and Freiermuth. That's the other one, low key. Those are my three right there. Just from some of the stuff I've seen, I think those are going to be very, very interesting.
Sutton.
I think, because for some reason, like the past 2 days, Sutton's been matching up with some of the tight ends a lot more, but it's good to see the contrast because obviously they have the size, but he has the athletic ability. And it's a different element for him because he's used to what? Having, the technique and stuff, but worrying about the speed element. Whereas in those matchups, he really doesn't have to worry about them. But you see his ball skills highly on display, and that's the part that I really love. That I think stands out about Cam Sutton then in that avenue. But in the same breath, dude, my man Pat ready.
Oh yeah,
Pat's ready, bro. I'm seeing him do something like yo. It's getting me going, bro. Just make me feel even better, man.
So we ain't far off of our potential Kelsey projections here.
See, here you go now. Hey,
Better than
Here you go.
Better than
Here you go, man.
Come on, that's not a far stretch.
For year 2, yes, that is a far stretch for year 2. I'm ready for him to ball out, but to say he's better than Heath in year 2, I can't say that just yet. I can't. But I'm excited about him, though. And I can assure you, you're going to love what you see this year, man. You're going to love it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hey, Seuss.
Bro, Pat looking like Pat, bro. Yeah.
Project Pat.
Capital P. Yeah.
Moats. If in training camp our offensive line does good against our defensive line, is our O-line actually good? Or is our defensive line still being dookie?
Put it like this. I don't think that this O-line is going to be bad. Obviously, we got to wait till we get the pads on and stuff like that, but having a chance to see the new group and the configuration of the group thus far, it definitely has me feeling a lot better seeing some of those guys move. Now, to give you full context, man, during this time frame, I mean, it's a lot of them doing drill work because they can't put pads on and actually be physical. But just based on how they're moving, seeing the fundamentals, the footwork, the hand placement, and stuff like that, I do think that the group is going to be a lot better. Like, physically, they look way better as well, man. Your boy Dotson? All right, I don't know if anyone said it. I ain't go there. But I want to go on the record and say this. You remember how last year they were talking about he could have been in the doghouse and all this other stuff? I don't know how factual it was, but what I can attest to is looking at him physically, he looks night and day. Like, way better this year. Way leaner, way meaner. Just, he looks like a totally different person this go around than last year. I don't know why. I don't know if he changed anything up. I've talked to him briefly. I didn't get a chance to get that much in depth just yet, but he looks very, very different. Like, physically just looks better. And to me, I'm like, man, if that was the reason why last year, you know, he was quote unquote in the doghouse and it was all the up and down early on, it would make sense because you watch him now. He looks like a killer. He looks like he's ready to do something like nice this year. And that's the guy I want to see in pads now with this newer physique. But yeah, I've wrote him down on my notes. I'm like, bruh, yeah, Dotson's body looks way different now.
What's interesting too is you thought Dotson was still fine. Last
year,
year, but the weight.
It looks like he looked like. It's one of them things, man. And it was a couple of guys I wrote down that I thought jumped off the screen to me in terms of just their body changing like that. Dotson being one of the main ones, just seeing, you know, because he still has the girth and the muscle on him, but his waist is smaller.
He almost like a Pouncey.
Yeah, it's like it leaned out a little bit more. And that's the thing that it really jumped off the screen to me. Like when I'm watching, I'm like, okay, you can see how he's changed this up. Gentry is another guy, man. Gentry, bro, like, talking to him, I know he said he switched up his training. He wants to drop some weight, probably like 5 pounds. But even seeing him, he physically just looks like he has more muscle, looks more defined. Loudermilk is another guy. Yes, Isaiah Loudermilk is another one. Talking to him, he said he spent his offseason, he was out in L.A. training, you know, and watching that, man, he, like, it's certain guys, when you talk about that second year transition or a guy just taking that next step from a physical perspective, to me, I think that Loudermilk is another one of those dudes that's definitely done some stuff to change his body in a good way, a positive way. And then the last guy, I said it earlier on the radio today. He looks like an action figure. Just think of the most jacked
G.I. Joe.
Just think of the most jacked G.I. Joe. That's why I said the most jacked G.I. Joe action figure. You know, with the 12-pack abs, the muscular legs, all that stuff. That's Najee Harris, bro. I cannot make this up, bro.
He got the beast mode face mask on too.
Yes, I can't make. And literally, where we're stationed, where I set up at, is right in front of him for pretty much an hour of practice. All indie, his individual work. When everybody leaves, he's over there working by himself. So I'm just watching this dude, and I'm just like, bro. Not only do I feel like you put on more muscle, but to me, you look more explosive as well. I'm watching him getting in and out of his cuts because most of the time that's the concern, right? If a guy gets thicker, it's like, yo, are you gonna lose some of that athletic ability? Are you gonna lose some of that quickness in and out of your breaks and cuts and stuff? He looked like a grown man.
Derrick Henry 2.0. 2K rushing yards.
I said it's shorter. He's shorter. He's a shorter version, but you'll see. And that's the thing I'm excited about because like I get a chance to see this early on, man. I'm watching this dude, yo, my man legs is nuts. I'm like, yo, how? And we thought last year his body looked, pro ready. We thought last year he looked the part, but it shows that offseason for him, that first go around, and Loudermilk talked about it as well. It was like, yo, man, not having to worry about school, not having to worry about exams, not having to worry about being. He was like, yo, in the snow. I was like, I can understand that, man. You don't have to worry about those. And you can just solely focus on your training, train wherever you want. It showed. And I think with Najee, it definitely showed as well, man, because he physically just looks better. And I thought, like I said, last year he looked amazing. But this year, it's like, man, he got his body even more prepared, man, for the long haul. So I'm definitely excited about him too, man.
Maybe you're bumping Steelers record up a win or two? You feeling that way already?
Chill out, man. Chill out. See, I knew you would try to take advantage of my vulnerability right now because the alumni is definitely in me. I'm heavily immersed.
Those were the early predictions. You can switch.
Every time I see my guys, I see my color, I'm like, bruh, yo, man, come on, man. Oh, man. We're not doing this today. You're not gonna do this today, okay? I'm just coming in here to give you some information, some insight. I'm peeling back the curtain because I rock with y'all. This is great
insight.
You know what I mean? Y'all
I honestly
rock with
think
us.
This is the best thing you can get anywhere right now. I'm not hearing any of this from anywhere else.
Well, you're not gonna be able to because full transparency, the beat writers, they only are allowed in there for a 15-minute period at the beginning of practice. Doing the stretch in individuals, so you're really not seeing that, and it's a pat and go. That's where you see the videos of Kenny throwing a little lob, Mason throwing a little lob, versus the video I sent you. It's night and day.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because once those 15 minutes up,
were there flames on the ball?
Listen,
whenever you sent it to me?
Bro,
am I wrong?
Yo, it was a dime, bro. What did I text you? I said, yo, boy out here dropping dimes. That's what I said. So it was a dime, bro. But we're going to talk about it a lot more, man. Definitely. But yeah, so you're not going to get this anywhere else because they're only there for the first 15 minutes and they come at the end of practice. But the way the timing is working out, they're still not even catching everything that, you in terms of stuff that we're talking about right now, they're not able to get that type of content, man. But that's why I can't necessarily go into the full, it was this play and that happened. I can't go there. But I can give you some good, I give you some nuggets. Yeah, I give you overviews.
That was pretty good right there. You gave us the top 4 or 5 guys that,
and it's all for the first
look
2
in
days,
the best
man.
shape. They have the best fitness. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Yep. Jason Apricot, I think I'm right.
Yeah.
He's just giving us some support.
Absolutely, man. Salute you, man. We appreciate you.
Brian Shoren, how do you think Claypool will be used this year? I feel like he wasn't used correctly last year. With just throwing jump balls, is he better as a slot receiver? I don't know if his route running's there.
Well, yeah, when you're talking about the slot, man, you're thinking more lateral quickness. You're thinking more of the, winning in a hurry. And that necessarily isn't Chase's game. But I still think he could be successful in the slot because it's certain routes that you can run with him in there. Whether you still want to attack him, you can still attack a DB vertically out of the slot. You can still attack a DB running just a leverage beater. Okay,
little slant, corner route, maybe?
When I say leverage beater, that's what I'm referring to. So if the guy is outside leverage, you're just darting across the field. It could be like an over route where you're running over the depth of the linebackers, but shallow than the safeties, that mid-range, little floater. You can do that with him. Like I said, you want to run that out cut, you got that as well, man. So you can do some things with him in the slot. I just don't think that that's where you want to keep him at predominantly. I think that when you're looking at some of these smaller receivers, some of the guys that have a lot more just bursty, twitchy, almost jitterbug type game, those are the guys you kind of want in that slot, man, because they're matching up against similar type corners. Those slot corners, they usually don't have the top end speed, but they're lateral. They can win in a hurry. So that's why you need that type of speed to combat those type of guys.
Quan Black. Jacob, I'm praying for you and your family, man.
Not without a doubt,
if we could have a moment for the innocent kids and teachers lost to the violence in Texas, I pray for our people, black, white, yellow. Prayers for everyone.
No, absolutely, man. Let's take that moment then, man. Absolutely. For sure, man. R.I.P., baby. Absolutely, man. I still can't believe that, man. It's nonsense, bro.
It's wild. Tragedy.
No.
Young Lou, thank you for talking about the Depp Heard situation. Y'all goats for it. The best podcast duo ever. Y'all really got me dead.
Hey, man, we try to accommodate as best we can. You know, sometimes we're going to tap into some real life topics. Like, obviously, this the shooting in Texas, man, we talk about that. We've talked about other national incidents and stuff like that. But at the same time, man, we like to have a little fun. And even if this fun does include, you know,
feces.
It has a little fecal in it, you know. It's like that sometimes, man. But either way, man, we're going to do our due diligence.
Black and Martyr. Just chipping in. I can never think of anything to say in these supers anymore.
Hey, man, it's all good as long as you here, man, and enjoying the vibe, man. That's all that matters to us, baby. So we appreciate the heck out of you, man, from the heart.
Steeler Nation on fire. Matt Canada should have a play with both Connor and Derek on the field.
Ooh.
Okay, if we're up 30, sure.
I was about to say, I have not seen those type of particulars just yet.
If we're up 30, sure. Not in critical moments. Please,
I ain't gonna lie though, bro.
Please, no.
It's sometimes, man, when I'm watching, because, you know, they, in terms of Derek works with the running backs. Connor is more so with the tight ends right now. So when I'm watching.
So no one's doing fullback stuff?
No, but hear me out. So when I say he's working with the running backs, that's what I'm saying. Like, they still have him doing fullback stuff, but when they're warming up, they're all running backs, fullbacks together. Bro.
Connor Hayward looks so small compared to the tight ends.
Not even that. I'm more so talking about these running backs. When I'm looking at Najee go through a drill, I look at Benny Snell go through a drill, I look at Mateo Durant go through a drill, it looks one way. And then I see my man Derek go through that same drill, and I'll be like, bro. And then Trey Edmonds go through that. I'm like, I see a difference here. Y'all are the fullbacks of the group. I got it. I have to rewire the way I look at this drill, because when you're watching 7 guys go through the same thing, you have to remember that, hey, not all 7 are the same position. Even though they all carry this rock and they all doing similar things, it is not the same. And Lord, it's sometimes I'm watching them do these drills, Deke, and I'm just like, bro, I gotta breathe. I gotta woosah. Hopefully somebody's going to, give me a little bit more about that group. I'm confident with Najee. I feel great about Najee.
Oh, you're talking about all the running backs too.
Not. It's not terrible. It's not. I don't want to give you that.
Don't
energy.
tell me Durant's underperforming.
I don't want to give you that energy.
He got that 2-3.
No, I'm not going to give you that energy. But it is still a gap, and that's my only concern right now. Like, I like Benny Snell. I like Mateo Durant early on. I think that those two are probably the next in line. McFarland, I haven't seen enough of him just yet. But, to me personally, 2 days in, I was already kind of thinking like, yo, we might need to bring another guy.
We need to revisit that topic.
Yeah, but it's still early, though, and that's my other thing. That's what I have to keep remembering, and that's what I want to tell you and everybody else when we start talking about the quarterbacks, too. It's just 2 days. It's still early, very early in the process. But it's just certain things that you could just see, and it's like, all right, okay, that could potentially be a little bit something right there. Yeah.
Okay, because we're what? Almost 2 months away?
Yeah.
A little bit closer to training camp. Maybe like a month and, 3/4 of a month, I guess you could say, until we get to training camp. So there's still time. There's still time to refine things, but you're saying Najee's already ready.
Bro.
Season could start today.
No, like watching Najee right now, no exaggeration, the way he's carrying himself, the way that he physically looks, it was very reminiscent of me in 2014. I wasn't here in 13 when L. Bell first got here. But from when I saw him in 14, that was the transformation. All I know is my first impression of him seeing, I'm like, yo, this dude, like, he's been doing this for 10 years. Like, he looks the part, the confidence, the way that he's taking care of his body, the way that he's moving, certain things that he's working on. That's what we could see at L. Bell before the season started. And then obviously we know what he did in 2014 when he really went off and then just started going on and on and on from there. Watching how Najee is moving, watching just his overall demeanor and just certain things that he's working on, it's reminding me of that. And that's the thing where I'm like, yo, I am super excited to see when the season gets here what that looks like. Because right now, just eyeball test, it's sending me there. It's like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, seeing how this man's getting in and out of these cuts, if I see another spin move, hand on the ground, I'm like, bro, what? That's filthy. It's OTAs. You don't got to do that right now. That's the type of energy he's on, though, man. I'm telling you, bro. Got me excited, man.
Good to hear. Moisés Zambrano says we're either going 17-0 or 13-4.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
All right, this jumped on me a little bit.
All right, it should be a
think
CJ?
We're good. Yeah, CJ Rose. What's good, fellas? We averaged less than 7 points in the first half of all of our games last season. Most, do you believe that will be better? I know how Mr. 30 and 10 feels. LOL, appreciate the work. It has to be better. I mean,
wait, and I'm gonna actually put the Steelers Day 1 OTA thing up there because I feel like we're talking about it anyways, man.
Sure.
We won't have to wait and do all this pleasantries and formalities, man. We'll let it happen organically, and then Deke can do all the editing on the back end because he's a cool guy.
Works for me.
But do I feel like we'll be able to average more than 7 points? Or essentially more than 7 points because we were averaging less than 7 points in the first half. I definitely do. 100%. Just from the way that these guys have been operating, and I'm talking about the quarterbacks right here. I do think that we will be able to because they're doing enough early on that shows me we'll be able to keep our offense on pace. Some of the things that I want to see more from the group are a little bit more downfield, stretching it out plays. But in terms of the pace in which the offense is operating with, not just in the running game, but even in the passing game, some of the movement of the pocket and stuff as well, I do think is going to give them an advantage early on in games. Whereas I thought last year it was more so we're kind of figuring out what our attack is, who we are that week, because we said like some weeks we come out, it's like we want to throw the ball every time. Other weeks we come out, it's like we want to have 2 tight ends. And we just never really had a rhythm. And then it was like, we have to wait. Oh, now in the second half, now we can figure out something and go. I think the way that they're setting up the offense right now is to be more of a physical unit, more playing through Najee run first from what I've been seeing. More of that run first action, but it's setting up things off of the pass. And the way that these quarterbacks are processing and reading it, I think early on in games, that can work. And this is without without Deontay. Because that's the other part of it, you know what I mean? So it's like when you throw him in that equation, I think that's a whole nother dynamic right now because I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this is still good, but we're missing a piece. So imagine when that piece is back out there, what this really could look like even more so. So I do think that we'll be able to start these games at a lot just better clip, 100%, man, because I think that, not trying to be funny, but just from the quarterback's perspective, I just think that it's the way that they're going to be running certain routes for these guys is going to be geared for them to be successful and on schedule. Because that's the thing that you can just see with Matt Canada, how he's working with these quarterbacks early on. Timing. Get that ball out when it's supposed to go out. And for those that saw the video today, man, I was talking about the quarterbacks and I was saying how, to me, I thought that Mitch, these first 2 days, has kind of put himself in that front runner spot. And it's not that Mason or Kenny are playing bad. I just think that, to me, Mitch just looks the most comfortable out there. When you're talking about commanding an offense, like, he commands it. Whether we're talking walkthroughs, whether we're talking getting onto the field, staying afterwards, interacting with the guys, he's the leader. And it's like, it shows. But we anticipated that because he's the veteran of the group. He's the oldest player in the sense of football years, right? Already started multiple years in Chicago, has a Pro Bowl under his belt. So that does show. I also think that in terms of just him processing defenses, I think, to me, he's doing it at a faster rate than Kenny and Mason. But we kind of anticipated that when we brought him in, especially him versus Mason, because we're like, you know what? Yes, even though we think they're very similar in some capacities, we kind of leaned a little bit more him. And I can understand why. As I'm seeing him, I don't think that his arm is any more or less gifted than Kenny or Mason. I just think from when I'm watching him, though, the way that whether he's turning his back on a play action pass, when he flips his head around, he knows his read. He knows, okay, I'm looking here first. If that's not here, I'm going here. And some might say you're settling, but to me, I look at it as he's keeping the offense on rhythm. He's keeping everything in pace. Instead of him trying to, you know what, let me hold it. Let me try to make something special happen and get yourself into trouble. I think that for me, Trubisky is just the most under control in a sense. Whereas when I watch Kenny, I think Kenny is the most athletic. Definitely. I'm watching him.
4.7 showing.
Oh, stop it, man. I am not going there with this 4.7 nonsense. But you see him, like, his athletic ability really shows on some of these rollouts. You're watching him roll out versus Mason versus Trubisky, and it's like, That's the athlete. He's definitely the best athlete of the group in terms
And we thought Trubisky's athletic though too.
Well, no, and that's the thing. Trubisky definitely is, but Kenny's athleticism to me has shown the most. I also think that Kenny has a lot more zip on his ball in person than when I'm watching it on film. Some of his throws I like. I'm like, and that's one of the videos I sent you. You can see the zip on. He has a nice pop, a nice tight spiral. I just think early on, and this is 2 days in. Let's remember, we have this 2 days in. I just think it's taking him a little bit longer to process the defense. So sometimes he's getting in trouble holding that ball. And now it's like, all right, this isn't college where you're going to be able to just extend. It's a lot more speed out there. And that's kind of where he's gotten in trouble. Like I said, it's 2 days in, though. And the more he sees, the better he's going to get. So I think for him, I'm changing my expectations from him trying to beat out Trubisky now to him just understand and grasp the playbook now. Training camp is going to be for real where I think he can try to make a move. Because I think right now, as I'm watching Trubisky, it looks like a guy who knows football, which it should be at the NFL level because there is a difference in the concepts, not just offensively, but defensively. And I just think that that's why Trubisky, to me, is a little bit ahead. Whereas, like I said, for Kenny, I just think that he has to just see it more. The more he sees it, because the athletic ability is there. The zip on the passes is there. He still got them gloves on, but I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? He got the gloves. It's all good. But
do I need to give you a package of handstands to give to him down there? Make sure he doesn't forget.
Hey, man. He rolled with them gloves, so it's all good.
Tell him to make sure he takes it daily.
So it's all good, man. It is all good. And then in terms of Mason, and I know I did not speak about him in the video, and it wasn't by intention. It was just I kind of forgot. But the thing with Mason that I've noticed that is positive, and then I'll talk about some of the negatives with him. The positive is he still has his confidence out there. I think that he's throwing a good ball as well. I think that the big hiccup between him versus Mitch is just playing faster. So when you're talking about the quarterback position, yeah, you can still make the same read. Yeah, you can still make the same throw, but there's a difference if you're making this read a half a step sooner and I'm getting you that ball, that receiver a ball a half a step sooner in that first window versus you waiting and now you got to hit the next window. That's the biggest difference right now for me when I'm watching Mitch versus Mason. I think both of them are still throwing the ball well. I think both of them are moving well. Mason is definitely the third in terms of athletic ability, though. I probably have it Kenny, Mitch, and then Mason in terms of how I'm looking at them dudes. But to me, Mason still throws an awesome ball, without a doubt. I like that part of it. I just think that he's a half a step behind when I'm watching him process plays in contrast to Mitch. And that's the part for me. If you're Mason, you're not trying to necessarily out-athlete Kenny because you're not going to do that. You're going to have to win with this and how you throw that rock. That's the Trubisky part. And right now, I just don't think that Mason is at Mitch's level mentally just yet. Now, it could happen over these next couple of weeks, and that's why I'm interested to see how that plays out. But my initial thoughts of these first couple of practices were that my man Mason is just a little bit slower processing it in contrast to Mitch. But it shouldn't be too big of a surprise either when you're still talking about guys having more football experience than others. Mason doesn't have as much in-game, reps as Trubisky does. And that's the part that shows. Now, for some guys, they pick it up faster. We talked about TJ Watt. Early on, man, we knew. It's like, yo, this dude's ready to go. It's not taking that long. Najee, early on, you knew. Yo, it's not taking that long. Other guys, it's like, all right, it might take a little bit longer to develop. Not saying that it still can't happen, but it just takes a little bit longer. And I think that's what...
especially for quarterbacks,
right,
too.
Yeah, definitely for the quarterbacks, 100%. And it's one of those things you have to be out there getting those reps to actually improve in that capacity. And I do think that it is fun, and I think it's helpful for these guys that it is an open competition because they all three are getting legitimate reps, which is in the past that was not the case. But it never needed to be the case because you had 7. So now seeing that, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a good situation right here. I like this a lot, man. And I just think as a whole, and this is what we've said early on anyways, with competition, man, we're just going to feel more confident about whoever wins it. We're going to feel that much more confident about those guys going forward because we know what they had to overcome. But a couple days in, the way I have it right now, I'm leaning. I probably go Trubisky. I'm definitely not leaning. I'm definitely Trubisky at 1. I probably have Mason 2 just because of, like I said, I think mentally he's still ahead of Kenny. Kenny's at 3 right now for me. But I think Kenny's far and away the best athlete. I just think that he has to mentally catch up to what he's seeing out there. And yeah, just give him some time.
Makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw the quarterback hierarchy, because it's out on Twitter that Mitch was taking the reps first, and then it was Mason, and then it was Pickett. I just thought, dude, it's early. It's really early. And you're hearing some stuff. I mean, you even told me, yeah, Mitch looks pretty good out there. Yeah. But everything you said about Mitch looking good versus Pickett and Mason makes sense because you're right. He has, 4 years starting experience with the Bears. And correct me if I'm wrong, it was kind of a similar offense to this, where he's doing read options, he's rolling out. And then he also got his stint up with Buffalo, so I'm sure he's learning a lot up there. Little Josh Allen effect rubbing off on him. And then Pickett's a rookie. Mitch, he has all that. And then we sign him in March. Yeah. He had how much more time? A month and a half extra over even Pickett with the playbook. And Mason just hasn't had that type of experience that Mitch has had. So I think it all makes sense. It's early, and we're going to see the real competition in training camp. Because whenever I heard an interview with Tomlin, he doubled down on that. Because someone was trying to ask him, may try to bait him on saying which quarterback's leading or whatnot. He's like, no, we're just learning, we're just teaching, and then we'll worry about training camp for the real competition.
Well, and I do think that, and that's what I'm glad that he said that. I'm glad that you reiterated that, because to me, the information that I'm giving you guys, understand, it's still very valid and it's still very credible, but this is just a portion of the journey. This is the next phase. You know what I mean? Okay, we're getting to see these guys on the field now. No more speculating about a guy being fast or what he did elsewhere. It's okay, we get to see him. We get to see these guys match up against our defense at times. And even though we know it's not the full go in terms of 100% pads, you got to worry about getting sacked or hit and things like that, you're still able to pick up on certain elements of it. And that's the stuff that when we're talking about the quarterbacks, that's what I'm looking at. How do you read? How fast are you processing? And where's your ball placement at? Yesterday, there was a pick. There was an interception. I didn't think it was on the quarterback because it happened to hit the receiver in the face mask. Okay.
I don't want to say anything. I was going to say someone's not there. I don't know who it is. So I'm clueless right now. It could be anyone.
We'll put it like this.
You don't have to say anything.
Well, no. What I'll say is this. It was a new guy that caught the interception, though. Kazi. He's the one who caught it. I promise, watching it happen.
He has a knack for the ball.
Watching it happen, I looked over to my dude that I was with, and I said, bro, you cut his tape on, it looked just like every other interception he's had.
Right.
He's just in the right place, right time. I'm talking the ball. It was on a rope. It kind of like the vid I sent you. It was on a rope. In fact, think just like the video I sent you. Identical. Think exactly like that video.
Oh, wow.
Except instead of it being a completion, it's a bink up. Oh, yeah.
So that doesn't count.
Yeah. So for me, I'm but that's still a good play for the quarterback. I'm not worried about drops. I'm not worried about balls that are getting tipped off of a guy. You know what I mean? That's going to happen. I'm more worried about you reading it and you putting that ball where it needs to be. If it's cover 3, where are you going with it? If it's cover 4, where are you going with it? They haven't seen all the other coverages just yet. It's only 2 days install. You know what I mean? So it's general coverage is what you're facing. They're window dressing a little bit, but nothing over the top just yet. So it's you should be able to know, okay, as soon as I get back from my fake or whatever it is, what's this corner doing? What's this safety doing? What's this linebacker doing? All right, let's roll. So, yeah, so far so good, man.
This is great information.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to help out where I can, man.
No, I'm loving this.
Try to help out where I can, man. Yeah, but it was definitely in going to the defense though, because we did talk a lot about the quarterbacks, and that's kind of where I had
anything on the O-line. It's the same formation we thought it was going to be. Mason Cole at center, right? Dawson left guard.
Yeah, Dawson left guard, Mason Cole at center. They got James Daniels at right guard, and I got that confirmed. Yeah, he said that's where he's going to be playing. Because I asked him, I was like, play center, you play left guard, play right guard. You gonna switch, play anything? What's your thought process? He's like, nah, they got me right guard, solely right guard. Chooks at right tackle, and then obviously Dan Moore at left tackle. As a whole, when they're out there moving, like I said, they haven't. Even when they're doing team stuff, it's hard to fully evaluate because the D-line and the O-line, they're working together because you don't have pads on. So we're going to move our feet. We're going to get our hand placement, but I'm not leaning on you. You're not leaning on me. So from the naked eye, I haven't seen, in terms of that first group, not talking about the second and third group, just the starter group only that we just laid out right there. I haven't seen any miscommunications to that extent up front. I haven't really seen anyone get just flamethrower it up front either, where it's bro, he ain't standing a chance. But at the same time, the defense is not going to that level because they're all trying to take care of each other in the trenches. So just context on that. And that's the same thing with the linebackers too. Watching Miles and Devin Bush together, the communication, I'm loving that. Like seeing them these first couple of days, man, it's a lot of chatter pointing those guys working on a string. Really good. But I can't tell you versus the run just yet. And for me, that was my biggest thing with Devin Bush last year. It wasn't necessarily his athletic ability or could he run. It was where you at mentally and where you at from a physicality standpoint, getting downhill. It's hard to evaluate that in shirts and shorts. But in terms of the communication, in terms of him just looking and also physically looking good, to me, I think that like he doesn't look overly big or overly small. He just looks good. You know what I mean? So I feel good with that right there. And just watching them next to each other, I think that as long as Devin can continue to play with the confidence that he's been showing thus far and just carry that over and get the physicality up, I think that they'll be definitely fine on the interior part of it, man.
That'll be a strength for us.
Yeah, that could potentially be a
Not
strength,
a weakness.
man. That could potentially be a strength, man. Yeah.
So with the O-line, though, and Dotson, you're saying he's the guy. Because I think someone asked him about competition. He was like, yeah, I'm expecting competition between me and Kendrick Green. But you think it's just...
You start in terms of Dotson and Kendrick Green?
Yeah.
No. They want to make it a competition. They've been running Kendrick Green at left guard. To me, the way Dotson looks, and we know how Dotson can play. If Dotson's playing to his full potential, looking the way that he looks right now, to me, it won't be a competition. Technically everything is a competition until you get out there and then you show that it's not. To me, I just think that Dotson physically is going to be able to do certain things that Kendrick cannot do at guard. Now, even with Kendrick, it's like I still feel like he looks like how he did a year ago, not necessarily as a negative, but I'm just saying as a small interior lineman. Whether he's at center or at guard, he just looks small. That's the biggest issue with him right now. And there's certain things that you just can't change. So for me, evaluating him right now, it doesn't really do me any good. I need to see him when you put the pads on, strength-wise, because that was his issue last year. It wasn't he didn't know where to go. It was he knew where to go. He just couldn't anchor against these guys. He was getting driven back. I can't tell you, did he improve upon that until we get to Latrobe, until we see him in shoulder pads, until guys are actually trying to drive him back. Then we'll be able to see, because right now, yeah, he looks the part. He looks good. He's athletic as heck. We know that. We've seen him pull. We know he can go laterally. So watching him in this setting, yeah, he moves extremely well. And that's nothing new to us. But we need to see him when it's physical. So that's why the same way I'm looking at Devin, I'm looking at him in terms of training camp. When you get the pads on, that'd be that stage. But for Devin, I did want to say it was good to just see the communication part. I think that's a huge step.
With the offense, I think there's one more position. If you can share.
Yeah, good.
Rookie receivers? Pickens?
So
Austin?
I haven't really seen much of Austin just yet. Pickens looks the part. Pickens looks like a prototypical like wide receiver one. It's just the couple routes that he's had, they just haven't given him the opportunity. Like, he's out there running routes and everything like that. It is one thing to see him in drill work, but I just haven't seen enough of him where he's actually getting action. Like, some of the throws that I've seen, it's been a lot of Claypool. They've been, targeting him, the tight ends. But, yeah, I have not seen a lot of Pickens in terms of them actually throwing the ball. He's out there getting reps, but they just haven't been throwing the ball. And part of that could just simply be that, hey, man, when you first put these installs in, a lot of times, like, all right, that's your first read, that's your second read, that's third read. All right, cool. Hey, man.
It didn't make sense for the first being Claypool or Fryman. Yeah. Makes sense.
It's like, all right, we know he's winning right now. Okay, we know this guy can win. All right, let's go to him. So that's kind of been the situation. I think the longer, this offseason goes on and Pickens gets a chance to continue to get more comfortable, and then the quarterbacks get a chance to see, okay, when you cut on the tape in practice, okay, this guy's open right here. Okay, he's winning right here. I don't necessarily have to take this. I can pump this and go back here. I think that will start to happen the longer this thing goes on, but it's still early on. Like I said, it's 2 practices in. So that part, just to give that context, that's why, like, when I'm watching Pickens, I'm like, he looks like a true wide receiver one, prototypical. The speed is there, all of that. It's just, like I said, they haven't really been targeting him. And as a whole, the offense, like I said, it's been more running the ball, play action pass, but they really haven't got to the phase where they're stretching the field just yet. And they will, trust me. Knowing Coach Tomlin, it's always a build-up. He'll be like that first week, yeah, we chilling, we working run, play action, short to intermediate. Then next week, everything will be 30, 40-yard passes. And he wants to see how those, because you got to see.
That's where you could see maybe a switch up in the QB hierarchy.
Well, no, it definitely could be. And there's also a time where you can see the DBs, because right now the DBs are playing super aggressive with crazy confidence. Like, Kello, to me, has been like the best one of the group. Cam Sutton is doing his thing too, but to me, Akello has definitely like just the confidence when he makes a play. It looks like Sonny, big boy walking on him, like he's got the energy. And for me, knowing the behind the scenes of them saying that, hey man, he's one of those dudes that when his confidence is up, he plays like that. I'm like, bro, stay like that all the time then.
Bradbury who?
Like if that's what it takes for you to play like that, be like that all the time. So seeing him play like that, I'm liking it. But on some of those plays, they're still short to intermediate. I want to see when we stretch in that yard and that ball's in the air 30 yards downfield, are you panicking? Or are you going to get a little contact, get your head around and make a play on this ball? And that's what we can't see just yet because of just the style of offense that they've been running in practice.
Sure. Yeah. And you said Witherspoon Pickens in terms of cornerback receiver matchups because that would probably be a good test to see
big
how Witherspoon
speed,
would do
Absolutely.
Against like Jamar Chase,
Come
right?
on, man. Big speed like that. Yes, indeed. That's the biggest reason behind it. And then when we talking about Levi Watson Claypool, because Claypool's a big, strong receiver. I want to see Levi, hey man, when you putting your hand on a guy like that, what does that look like? Like we know Chase running down the field is not his issue. His is when it's the jump ball. Can you come down with it or not? But I want to see, man, what position are you going to be in versus this type of dude, man? Because that is a big, strong receiver, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nothing on Austin then?
No, not right now. Not right now.
Hasn't been doing much.
Yeah. And like I said, man, it's still early on. They haven't been doing a ton of, in terms of the team portion, it hasn't been a ton of the 3 receiver stuff. It's been more of the 2 tight end stuff. So with that is going to limit Austin's participation in some of those avenues. When I've seen Austin early on, it's been when they're warming up, doing some of the more one-side specific drills. Okay, you're a quarterback, I'm a quarterback. All right, you're going to take all the reps on the right side of the hash. I'm taking all the reps on the left side of the hash. We're going to do 10 apiece, then we'll flip. It's those type of scenarios. So it's like, yeah, you'll see him win a rep, but it's condensed. It's one side of the field. So I like it, but I take it with a grain of salt at the same time. Okay. And that's kind of like where I'm at with him. I just need to see more of him. That's the biggest thing.
Is there anything we're missing on the field? Is there anything else on defense?
I'm trying to think. Those are the main dudes early on. But I did want to ask you, since it's out there now, and now I don't have to, keep it to myself. No to it. Thoughts?
So there's a couple things out there that make this a positive.
Okay.
I saw someone comment on one of my videos that he's actually at Notre Dame graduation.
He already graduated. He already did it. That was before OTA started, though. Yeah.
He was celebrating with his family then, maybe. Extended celebration over the degree.
Yeah, it was like, that already happened, but all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. I thank you for letting me know that timeline doesn't really add up then.
Yeah. And then I know apparently Tyson Alualu posted a pic yesterday and had everybody thinking he was out there. It was like, nah.
Well, not that. But no. Yeah. With him posting that, though, it makes you think Stephon Tuitt is coming back because he said, looking forward to what you're going to be doing this year on the field. And then Cam Hayward said, Tuitt's out in Indy. He's working hard. I'm not worried about him. He'll be back.
To be back. Yeah.
So, yeah, a little disappointed that Tuitt's not there because we haven't seen Tuitt in a Steeler jersey in how long. But those two things give me optimism. I think Tuitt will be back. I don't know why he's not there, though. I mean, it's still voluntary technically, but I think he'll be back.
Minka's there. TJ's there.
Like I said, it's a little disappointing. Yeah. At the same time, I think Tuitt will be there. I think he's going to be back.
Yeah, I don't share that optimism. I told you that the other day when we were talking. Like,
even
if he isn't there,
even with the Cam Hayward Alualu thing, that doesn't change your opinion
Cam said
at all?
it last year in season. Remember? Hey man, Tuitt's been out there jogging. I think we should be seeing him soon. He said that then. And I also remember, and this is to an extreme, but when L. Bell was supposed to be coming back, everybody, oh yeah, man, he's gonna be back this week. Oh, he's coming back that time. He said, yeah, okay, he saw that worked out. Until I hear from that person, until I see that person show up, I don't put a lot of stock in that because at the end of the day, that's somebody speaking for someone else. That'd be like you saying, hey, yeah, man, Mo's gonna show up, man. No, Mo's love recording. He gonna be here. And I'm over here like, no, the heck I ain't. But you like, yo, man, I know Mo's gonna be there. And I don't show up. It's like, yo, now you look crazy. To me, that's kind of how I feel with this, man. Until I see Tuitt show up, man, I'm not putting as much stock in it because I know what OTAs mean to the guys in Pittsburgh. I know this. You don't think Cam Hayward don't got stuff that he could be doing right now? Everybody that's out there, like, it hits differently. That's all. And with Deontay, it's different because we said, we know this is 100% contract related, and that's fine. That's, the MO for guys that are trying to get money when they don't really have as much leverage. You don't show up to the voluntary stuff. So I anticipate him being there for minicamp because that's the mandatory portion. But with Tuitt, I'm just kind of stuck because I'm like, man, it wasn't like you played last year. It wasn't like you played and got hurt last year. You weren't here at all last year. And I understand, the tragedy of him losing his brother and things like that. And then the knee surgery, I get that. But the longer this thing goes and the longer I continue to see him not be there, it's hard for me to share optimism that, he's definitely coming back. I'm going to be the happiest dude alive when he does come back. But until then, it's just kind of like, I can't just like get hyped about somebody else saying something when I still have not heard it from him.
The question is for both Deontay and Tuitt is when? Is it the mandatory?
No, because Deontay shows up for mandatory, definitely. Tuitt's the one I'm trying to see how that works out.
Because why not now then? I guess that's the other question.
No. The reason for Deontay it makes sense is this. They can't fine you right now. They can fine you for mandatory. So he doesn't have the contract just yet. If they do not give him the contract and he misses these 3 days, he'll probably be short $100,000. Like that's just, what they can fine you. It's like 30 days. It's $30K per day. But if they want to, they can go more than that by hitting you individual meetings. Walk through, you weren't here. Weightlifting, you weren't here. They can go down that list and really make it a 6-figure thing. For Deontay, you have to take that into account. So that's why.
I guess he doesn't care about as much of the benefits that we talked about at being at these voluntary OTAs. Team building. If you get injured, they'll pay for it. There was like 3 or 4 things we listed off.
Yeah,
maybe he just doesn't prioritize them.
Yeah, but when you're talking about the mandatory portion, you got to show up for the mandatory portion. It's mandatory, like in your contracts by rules. So you want to be there for that type of stuff. And I'm not saying that they would, but if the team really wanted to play hardball, if he didn't show up to anything mandatory, you hit him with the conduct detrimental. Oh, well, man, there are players are having to answer questions about you not being here. Conduct detrimental essentially wipes out the cap that they could put on you for what they fine you on a day-to-day basis. So the Steelers have a lot of bullets in their repertoire if they wanted to go that route. I don't anticipate them doing that, and that's why I do anticipate Deontay Johnson being there for the veteran minicamp at the end of OTAs. With Tuitt, though, the reason why I think it's a little bit different is because last year, the way that everything played out for him and the leniency that the team continues to show towards him, I just feel like there's a situation where he might feel like, you know what, it's been going like this. I haven't been having to show up. I haven't been having to do this type of stuff. Whatever communication he's having with them, maybe he continues that and just says, you know what, I don't want to show up for this either. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I just think that it's not as much of a guarantee that he will be there in contrast to Deontay. I think Deontay will definitely be there. I just don't think that Tuitt, it's as, he's going to be out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's going to be that situation, man.
Because he's not as much worried about the fines.
Right. And he's already had the money, too. That's way different, man.
There does have to be a hard line at some point here. You would think it'd be mandatory minicamp, but then if it's not that, I mean, it has to be training camp.
I mean, people thought
it has to be.
People thought it would be a hard line before the draft. Remember? It's like, you need to know before the draft, so I need to know if I need to draft a guy in the first round or if I could take a guy in the fourth round. It didn't happen then. I need to know before free agency. Man, we might need to be aggressive and get one of these, free agent D linemen out here. It's like, nah, they just continue to just, all right, well, we'll figure it out. We'll talk to him. We'll figure it out. That's why for me, I'm just like, if they're not taking a hard stance, if they're not showing any urgency from what we've seen, now we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So just throwing that out there as well. So they could be communicating with him behind the scenes that, hey, look, man, we need to know by X date. And if that's the case, we'll find out when we find out. But
yeah, maybe there's some like contract stuff going on too.
But based on everything that we've been privy to in terms of information, we just have not seen any type of urgency from the organization side to have to make a decision or show up or say yay or nay about anything. So that's why it's kind of like we're all speculating on this thing. But that's why for me, I just don't put as much stock in Cam and Tyson saying that he'll be back because I think it's a lot of moving pieces with this thing, and the way that they've been handling it, it doesn't make me feel like they're going to take a super hard stance if he does not show up.
This is all weird because haven't there been some reports over the last month or so that he's actually been working out down the south side? Or I don't know where he'd be. Is it Heinz Field?
It would be the south side.
It'd all be south side?
It'd be the south side.
Okay, I've heard some reports that he's been working out down there like every day.
I haven't seen him.
Okay.
That's just me. But he could be out there, and maybe he's out there earlier or later. Who knows? I mean, that's the thing. And shoot, I ran into a All-Pro. It was an All-Pro that doesn't play for the Steelers that was bumping shoulders around the way. So, yeah.
Big AD.
Hey, man, everybody work on where they work all that, man. Everybody work on where they work all that. But, yeah.
He's allowed.
He's allowed. I was like, oh, all right, big fella. I know. Hey, now. All right.
Definitely allowed.
Hey, tip of the cap.
Okay, I guess Tuitt situation goes on.
Yeah,
continues.
So, like I said, not as optimistic about it, but at the same time, we at least know we have another date that will be coming up. Because he could show, and this is the thing, he could show up to any OTA. It doesn't, like, just because he wasn't there, at the beginning doesn't mean that he can't show up a week from now, 2 weeks from now. He still has time. That's the thing. So don't look at it or think of it as, hey, man, he didn't show up. That's it. He's not showing up to any of them. It's just he hasn't shown up thus far. So we'll see.
I mean, everyone's waiting on pins and needles for whenever that press conference or interview happens with Tuitt.
Yes. Yes, that's going to be crazy. I mean, you got to talk. No one's heard from him in over, a year now?
Even longer?
Probably is longer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years.
It's been a minute, man.
Because I don't think he did any interviews during training camp last year.
No, because that's when he first came back. And I remember I was out there and we would just see him kind of walking. I was telling you, I was like, physically he looked heavier, but he wasn't doing any on field. It was just on the sideline. I would say like him and TJ and stuff, they would do certain little like conditioning things and stuff like that. And then it wasn't even doing that anymore. So yeah, he definitely hasn't talked since then, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever he does...
Unless it was OTAs before training camp, maybe.
How will that work? Will the Steelers maybe protect him from that?
So, I mean, they could. But I think it's one of them things, though, man. He's going to be one of those...
They'll probably do like the Missy Matthews interview with him.
Yeah, so the way I anticipate them handling it is probably going to be similar to how they handled Al when the national anthem situation went on. So we knew he necessarily didn't want to do a ton of talking about it. He knew how sensitive it was. He knew how us in the locker room felt and just how everything played out. But because it was such crazy demand to hear from him, what they did, they ended up taking him right upstairs, having a little press conference where you got Bert, who's the Steelers like head PR guy, and they just basically like made sure it was certain things that he would say, certain things that you could not ask him, and he just kind of went through it with that. So I anticipate them probably taking a similar approach with Tuitt because of the nature of, number one, him losing a family member, then number two, how long of a process it's been. I mean, there are a ton of questions that people are going to have for him. So I just think that they're going to probably take a similar approach whenever they do decide to allow him to be available to the media and quote unquote protect him. So that way they don't like run him up, because I shouldn't have to say this, but you know how it goes. Some media people, they're going to genuinely want to get good information, ask some genuine questions, and not try to piss him off for the sake of pissing him off. Whereas you're going to have other guys that are going to do things that essentially try to see if you can get a rise out of somebody. It's a part of the game. We get it.
Get
yes,
in trouble.
Absolutely. We know how it goes. I can't stand that element of the media part, but it is what it is. So I just think that the Steelers will probably try to protect him from that, though. So whenever we do hear from him, it will probably only be one time, too. Like, it won't be a reoccurring thing. It'll be, this is your one time. Ask the questions you're going to ask. If we don't like that question, that's not getting asked. And they're going to kind of roll with that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So how much longer are these OTAs?
They go until the second week of June. Yeah, OTA practices.
And then mini camps when?
The second week of June. Yeah, so
okay.
OTAs are I think that, let me pull up my calendar. Whatever that first week in June, the 9th is the last, the 9th is the last regular OTA practice. And then the 14th,
They're doing
15th,
this every day?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I actually won't be there tomorrow, so I won't be able to give you the little update. But I'll be there on Tuesday. I'll be back.
Were you there today?
Yeah, I've been there both days. They practice in the morning, 10 to noon. And
okay.
yeah, I'm always down there from 10
you
to 1.
You got the live setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, so it's been dope, man. So that's why I'm able to give you as much as I can give you in contrast to some of these other people, but I have to wait until after the fact to give you this information because, yes, I happen to be privy to, a lot of access, which I don't take for granted. So shout out to the access guys out there, man.
Big Moats reporting.
Stop it.
You want to hit these super chats?
Yeah, let's get some, man.
Where am I at here?
We left off with CJ Rose in terms of will we average more than 7 points in the first half. So it's probably let's go UW. Yep.
So with what you said, Moats, on the DBs and OTAs, is that a blessing on them, or does that say something bad on the QBs?
No, man, I think it's a blessing, man. I think it's really good for them in terms of their confidence, in terms of just how fast they're playing, because you got to remember, for the QBs, it's a very different dynamic. You got the vet in Mitch Trubisky. You have the long tenured home guy in terms of Mason, and then you have the new not even new project, but just the new piece in terms of Kenny Pickett. But all three of those guys, they have certain things that are going to be holding them back early on. But we all have different reasons why we're optimistic about each of them individually. Whereas the DBs, when you're talking about Cam Sutton, Ahkello Witherspoon, and Levi Wallace, we don't have as many questions around them dudes. We kind of know who they are. It's more so, can you do that for the whole 17 games? If you can do that, oh man, we are great. That's the phase that they're in. So the competition in that secondary, in terms of those guys, is just way more ratcheted up, because you don't have this hierarchy of, hey, I'm the proven veteran right now. I have a Pro Bowl. Oh, you're Kenny. You're new. You're learning. Just take your time. We're going to teach you. Oh, you're Mason. Hey, man, we know that, hey, you've been here. They kind of believe in you. They kind of don't. We kind of believe in you. We kind of don't. So we get that. But that's their hierarchy. Whereas when you're talking Ahkello versus Levi, neither one of them got to look at each other and say, you know what, man, you got it. Let me put my head down. Neither one of them dudes have to. If you're Cam Sutton, you're not looking at them and saying, hey, I can't hang out there with you guys. No. So when you watch them practice, that's the energy. Talking to Cam Sutton, that's his energy. I asked him, I was like, yo, man, it's a competition. We know they got new money in that room. They got new pieces in that room. Like, how do y'all handle that? He's like, nah, man, we love this, because we're gonna see who's the best of the bunch. And that's what we're trying to do every single day. We're trying to go out there and compete like just crazy men, and we're still going to love each other after the fact, but we all trying to be that guy. And I'm like, yo, that's what it needs to be. And when you watch them, all three of them dudes have a certain energy about them, man. And I definitely like that a lot, baby.
You said they were using Cam a lot, like in that slot, though.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm liking the idea of putting him on tight ends, though. Now we don't have to worry about as much
telling you, man.
Devin Bush doing that type of stuff.
Like, watching him and turn, because like when I first watched him, because the first one he was
as long as he could be physical in the run game,
because it was when he was matched up on Gentry, and I was like, man, I don't know how I like this. Like,
that's a big time size matchup.
Listen, man,
mismatch.
I dabbed up Gentry today. I'm like, bro, why you so tall? Like, god dang, like when y'all start being that tall again? I forgot. Like, you know, it's been a minute since I didn't see him up close in person. I was like, man, yeah. But seeing how Cam played him and some of the things that he was doing, I'm like, okay. If that's going to be how you attack these bigger body players, these bigger body tight ends, you could live like that. Like you said, though, when it's running game, that's going to be the telltale. It's hard to evaluate that right now with no pads on. But that will be the telltale, because it's easy to cover them guys. It's easy to play in the box when that Gentry is in shirts and shorts. When Gentry is in them pads and, it's not a run. I mean, it's not a pass. It's actually a run this time. And now you got to come down there and field instead of edge. Gonna be a little different. So that's the part for me where I'm just kind of like, all right, we'll see how he handles that. What's his game plan, his plan of attack then. But we can't see that right now until it gets to training camp.
Gamonier. This is going to be the most lit preseason ever.
Nah, bro. Facts.
It says first half, Titty Lovin' Mitch versus Kenny Franchise. Second half, Oladukin versus Mason. Must watch TV.
No facts, bro.
Here's what I'll say. I don't know if having a lit preseason. He's right. This is probably going to be the most lit preseason ever, because even last year when we had the backup QB competition, it was fireworks.
Think about how much,
but this is going to be even more.
We gave to the backup QB competition.
Yeah.
Like, we were tuned in for the backup QB competition. You mean to tell me now we get to watch a real competition for the guy for QB1? Oh, man, I can't wait.
But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Chiefs, they have a boring preseason. The Bengals, they have a boring preseason. Chargers, they got a boring preseason.
Yeah.
Because they got their franchise guys. There was something to having boring preseasons.
This is true.
It's not bad having a boring offseason. You know what you got going in. You know you're going to be contenders. Yeah. Now, I think we got a chance to be that too. One of these guys step up. But let's not take for granted what we had there. Yeah. Of having boring preseasons.
Very true. Very true.
But let's embrace this. We can embrace this.
Yeah, we'll get back to boring sooner rather than later. But right now, I am enjoying it.
You got to embrace it.
Like, it is still so weird to me, even in the sense of just watching these guys take the field, seeing each day the quarterbacks, who's going to be the first one out there. And then, okay, well, you were the first one. Okay, well, who's staying longer? All right, who's doing it? And you can tell, too. That's the thing. Like, when you know people are competing, Every little thing is showing up. I'm looking like, oh, okay. So he was out here.
You're the body language
He was out here 10 minutes before you yesterday. Oh, so now today you try to beat him, but he still got you by a little bit. Okay. Oh, so he left the field. You stayed afterwards with the guys. Ha ha. See what's going on.
The game within the game.
You know, it's a game within the game, man. Everything is an evaluation. But shit, when I was watching one of them dudes stay after the day, I'm like, you ain't do that yesterday. Huh. All right. I likes it though. I'm all for it, but okay. I'll be excited to see who's the next guy they're staying after. So.
CJ Mack says perfect scenario. Pickett has a 7-type rookie season and what was he talking about? That 7-type? Oh, no, Big Ben.
Big Ben, yeah.
I thought he was talking in like baseball terms. You know, they say 5-tool players.
Oh,
he's a 7-type quarterback.
He's a 7-tool quarterback. He could run. He could throw the play action pass. He could fake the handoff. He could bootleg right and left. Yeah.
Yeah, 7-type rookie season and defense becomes a hybrid of 08.
08 defense was pretty filthy though, bro.
I got to think of his reasoning behind the defense. I could see Pickett having a good rookie season.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
he might have better stats. He probably will have better stats
but
just because
08,
of the
08 defense, that's the one for me.
Yeah, what's the reasoning here? All right, we got good cornerback. On 2 underrated cornerbacks. So you got an elite safety like we had Paul Malu back then.
You got an elite rusher.
And you have the steady safety in Edmonds.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin Bush and Miles Jack would have to be good because we had good inside linebackers.
True.
Neither of them were like all pros, but
they still were good though.
Miles Jack and Devin Bush aren't that either, but they could be really good.
Pro Bowls though, right? Both of them were Pro Bowlers.
Who, Devin Bush?
No. In 08.
I don't know if they made it that specific year.
Not that true, but I'm saying they have Pro Bowls under them.
Ferrier had one, and Timmons has like 1 or 2 as well.
Whereas Miles Jack and Devin Bush, neither of them have a Pro Bowl just yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think, man, that, you know, as high as we are and as optimistic as we are about Miles Jack and how we were a little bit more skeptical about Mitch Trubisky, Mitch has a Pro Bowl. Miles doesn't. It's nuts, man. I would if I was a bet man, I would have definitely betted the other way around.
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I know you gonna laugh at the Pro Bowl.
No, I was gonna say no, a little bit.
Come on, man.
No, he actually had a decent season.
Yeah.
I think he deserved the Pro Bowl that year.
Yeah.
It's more of just what have you done for me lately.
Right, I'm with you.
His decline was a little abrupt, a little out there too. I mean, everyone saw it. Whereas like Miles Jack, he's just been undercover down in Jacksonville, and he's just been steadily good.
Yeah.
Outside linebackers, T.J. Watt, James Harrison. And then we had Lamar Woodley. That Alex Highsmith got in. I mean, he could get to that Lamar Woodley level.
I hope so. I was about to say I'm not putting him in Willie's. I'm not doing that.
Not just yet. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Miles Jack and Devin Bush got to play good.
Chance, bro. I never played with Woodley, but I'm watching Willie on tape. Woodley definitely had a chance, and all the guys that had played with Woodley here in Pittsburgh, they all said that he was supposed to be the one. They said like talking just.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, what? They said he suffered from the what allegedly was going on with Dotson. You know, too much success too early, man.
Yeah.
Said he got money, got Jordan in the ring. It's just game changer. Said man, that was the same. I was like, yo, what? And it was like, no, look at it. I was like, all right, I understand. I mean, he'll even say it to an extent, man.
And then hey, defensive line. Man. Back then it was Aaron Smith, Brett Kiesel, Casey Hampton. I mean, we got Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Alu, definitely not on Casey Hampton's level, but if Tuitt's bad, I mean, that's a good defensive line. Comparable enough, at least.
It's close enough, man.
Comparable enough. And then, like I said, Pickett, with what we have around him, if he does play, he could have a really good rookie season.
And then you got T.A. versus LeBeau.
Yeah, T.A.'s not on his level.
Not yet. All right, fair enough.
We got Flores in the room, though.
There it is. All right, a combination of the two?
Yeah.
So, Brian Flores and Terrell Austin versus...
You're still taking LeBeau.
I'm definitely taking LeBeau.
You're still taking LeBeau.
Still taking LeBeau. Yep.
Are you taking LeBeau right now over them two?
How old is LeBeau?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I'm still rolling with LeBeau.
Right now. Bring him back.
You know, LeBeau's my dude, man. Hey, man. What I look like? What I look like saying not LeBeau? Huh?
Right.
LeBeau had to sign off on me coming here. So yes, I am loyal to him. Mm-hmm.
Steel City Batman. My main question is, how does Devin Bush look? He's my main focus on the defense.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's hard to evaluate the physicality part, but the communication is there. I think that he's communicating just way more confidently, I think, and clearly. He looks like he's more comfortable out there, which is good. In terms of him running around in shorts, I thought that he ran around in shorts really well last year, so I don't really see a big change there. The biggest part is when we get the pads on, and that won't happen, like I said, until training camp, so we're kind of stuck in a sense. But as a whole, though, man, I think that physically he looks good. He looks like he's healthy and ready to go.
All right, that is the Devin Bush question. Now we have Moises Zambrano. Can Kenny Pickett use the fake slide in the NFL? No.
Nah, I mean...
They already banned it in college football, I think the day after.
I mean, technically, you could do whatever you want to do. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to hit defensive receivers and defensive quarterbacks. We do that. So he can fake slide if he would like to.
All it takes is the refs not to see it.
Yeah. Proceed with caution. That's all.
AJ Martinez, Najee, going for 2,000. And Muth, 80 catches, bring back 7, dang it.
Oh.
Sabotage 2021. Ooh. Let the truth be told, Deke. I know.
I don't know.
The things that they said were conspiracy.
Last year, Ben ain't
the
looked
truth
this healthy.
Came out.
That's all I'm saying, man. Wow, watching the way that Kenny running around, watching the way that Mitch doing it a little bit.
It was that O-line that banged him up too early, because we remember how he looked in that Lions preseason game.
Yeah, but that was 2 series, man. Was it 2 series or was it 1 series? Was it 2?
2, because the
2
one
series, right?
Ebron dropped. It was a really nice play. He did like a couple spin arounds and rolled out. He would have been perfect completion percentage. But come on, I'm not talking preseason here. That stuff doesn't matter. I'm just saying he looked good. I thought he really turned back the clock. I was expecting a different result last season. But I do think he was banged up most of the season after that Week 2 Raiders game.
Fair enough, because I'm going to say, hey, the way I look at these young dudes out there throwing and running around, I'm like, 7 won't moving like that, man. And you've seen it.
There's no doubt about that. But, it's just different offenses and stuff.
Yeah.
If Ben were to run more of a traditional drop back, the line was better, I think he'd be fine. Yeah. And I've said that about, if he was on the Browns, if he was on the Vikings with that type of style of offense around, he'd be putting on Brady-like numbers.
I hope so, man.
We'll
never know.
I'm at Mook.
Okay, so I'm one ahead of you then. I got one ahead of you.
Okay.
Quashawn White. He says, what about Warren from Oklahoma State? Yeah. To me, man, I haven't seen a ton of him getting touches, but the one thing that I did notice with him was how he's built, bro. Like, my man is sawed off. Like, I didn't realize how much shorter he was than Mateo Durant until they stood next to each other. Durant is like legit 6 foot. So he's tall, but he's lean. He's long. Like, trying to think, who could I even comp him to in terms of how he's built? In contrast to when you look at Warren next to him, Warren,
he looks like Mary Jones-Drew, right?
Yeah, not his legs aren't as thick though. That's the only thing. But he puts you in that type of mindset. Like, he's almost built like a fullback, but he's way more athletic and faster than a fullback. But he puts me in the mindset of like how a fullback would be built. In fact, man, who was the dude that not because like Frank Summers, you remember Frank Summers play here?
Frank the Tank.
Yeah, Frank the Tank. So like, you remember how like sawed off and like thick he was though, right? Not fat, but just short and just stocky. Think that, but just a little bit taller and not as bulky. You know what I mean? But like, that is like when I'm watching, like when I look at him, not in terms of how he moves, just how he's built. That's kind of how he reminded me of. When I'm looking, I'm like, dang. And like Frank, that's my dude. Like, we was in Buffalo together. Had at least the full all season and stuff like that, man. Like, it's my workout partner, man. Who's getting it in, man? Shout out to my man Frank the Tank. But looking at Warren, he does, his physique reminds me a lot of him. I want to see when they start actually giving him the ball or even throwing it to him kind of out there in space. We just haven't seen a ton of that just yet. It's been a lot of drill work with the running backs. Like I said, I see him and all those guys going through every footwork, catching, all that type of stuff. But I just haven't seen him get the ball. I want to see that part. To me, the one thing what I will say this about Durant though. Straight line, yes. I need to see a little bit more of the lateral though. That's the part where
makes sense.
Yeah,
you didn't really see much of it whenever you watched the highlights.
Yeah, and think about it, it's like in these settings, he's not getting those gaping holes where he can just run straight. He has to make guys miss in a sense, and I just haven't seen a lot of that. But it's still early on, and that's the other part. And it is still no pads, so that's another element of it as well. But that's one thing for me when I'm watching him. I'm like, when you're talking straight line, I think he's fine. I think he's very gifted. But when I'm watching him in terms of his flips and how fluid he can be or where he struggles at, I think when you're talking about getting in and out of some of those cuts as quickly as a Najee, for example, you can see a big difference between the two, man.
Mook.
Even though they're very similar in terms of the height. And obviously Najee has a lot more weight on him.
Right.
You could just see how much more fluid Najee is in his hips in terms of getting in and out of his cuts and stuff like that. Whereas when I'm looking at Mateo, you can see the speed, but when you're talking about getting in and out quickly, is a little bit labored right now.
You're thinking Najee may have increased his speed a little bit somehow?
No, I said the
Straight line?
explosiveness. I haven't seen. I ain't go there just yet. But the the explosiveness is there. Like him getting in and out of his cuts, like is definitely there.
Okay.
Like that explosiveness is there. But we won't see the straight line because that's the other thing. Like when I watch, like when Elbow practice, Elbow every time he touches the ball, he's scoring. He's to the crib. With Najee, that's not how he's doing it right now, and it's fine. Everybody does their thing their own way, but I just haven't had a chance to see what that top end looks like. Whereas with L. Bell, we knew L. Bell didn't have top end because he would show it every time he got the ball. He's going to run. He's going to act like he's going. We like L. Bell. You know we would have caught you, right? We just let you keep running. Like that's L. Bell. No, that's my dude. I'm a dude. But with Najee, we just haven't like that's just not how he's doing it right now. But it's still early. And to me, the simple fact that he's out there practicing, actually taking reps, I was kind of 50-50 on because the workload that he had a year ago. I don't need to see a ton of Najee in OTAs. I know who he is. I want to make sure that his body is as healthy as possible for the season grind. So I don't want him getting a ton of reps. I want to see him. Hey, get on the side. You are like a couple of these other guys out here where y'all don't take team reps. Y'all over there. I like those type of guys. Najee should be in that category, but Najee, he practices. So it's like I like it, but at the same time, like, bro, you don't give me everything just yet. Dial it back a little bit. So that's the part for me where I'm like, I'm hoping that he's continuing to dial it back.
Mook, just showing some love. Love the show. It gets me through
you,
my work day.
Hey, man, you help us get through our work day. We're working right now, technically.
We got Google East taking shots at my alma mater. Says, Deke, you're lucky we don't get to expose your Mickey Mouse school this year. # we are. Get out of here.
Dang, I was looking at some of the Pitt players. They was out here today.
Penn State's so overrated.
Yeah. The Pitt homies, they finished up practice, pulled up. It was like, all right, I see you little guys.
How'd Mumfield look? Our new receiver.
I could not tell you who was who out there, man. Taquan Underwood, was it Taquan Underwood, right? The receivers coach?
Oh.
Yeah, he looked cool. Little baby bro. It was dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we're still going to have a fine season without Jordan Addison.
Yeah, hell to Pitt, man.
Yeah.
Hell to Pitt.
EW.
In fact, I think I got them on my hat. Now, yeah.
Is that Pitt?
One of them buildings, man, you tell me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Where'd you get that at?
Man, so
What's the three stripes for?
So it's called a high bar, man. Funny right there, right? High bar. Wait a minute.
Yeah, what is it? Is this like custom hats or
something? Yeah. So Charlie Batch, his nephew, started a hat company called High Bar. I'm on like IG and stuff like that, but he reached out to me when I was in Cali and was like, yo, got these hats, man. They Pittsburgh thing, man. You know, go and check them out. So I was like, yo, let me see a couple of them, man. There's this and a couple other ones, man. But I like the fact they got these little patches on the side. And it's always like something different, but it's like Pittsburgh related. So like one hat I have has like the Clemente Bridge up there. Another has like the
they all have 3 bars on the front.
Yeah. That's like the look on it. But yeah, it was pretty dope though, man. I was like, all right.
I like that.
Yeah, man. It was pretty clean, man. So shout out to my people over there at High Bar, man. Yeah. And shout out to my man C Batch for setting up everything.
Oh yeah. EW for the boys. Thanks.
Shout out. Living our best life.
Come on here. You guys really got me thinking we're going 17-0. I definitely think we are 100% playoff team. A top 3 defense. Number 1 if everyone's healthy. Offense is all up to the QB/Canada/run game. Tomlin equals playoffs. Summed it up pretty good.
I mean, yeah, I feel like he hit it across the board right there, man.
Yeah, I think our defense should be, top 5, top 6. That's actually, I was going to say that could be our floor. I say the floor is like top 10. But we should be on average up there. Top 5, top 6, and like he's saying, the ceiling, we could be number 1. Everything works out.
We have the personnel at each level. I know a lot of it is still kind of hinging on Tuitt returning, and then obviously Devin Bush when you put the pads on.
You liked how Loudermilk was looking though?
No, without a doubt I do. Yeah. Loudermilk definitely looks good, man. And DeMarvin Lee out, he's not a little dude. I know people kept saying, "Oh man, you got to put weight on." Bro, he's not a little guy at all. Like I'm trying to figure out how to describe this dude because he's big. He's a 300-pounder, like legit.
He's kind of like jacked and lean, kind of,
bro.
Yeah.
Like he is super lean. So you look at him, you're like, "There's no way he's 300 pounds." But you look at him like, that dude's 300 pounds. Like he's built, but the physique, like he's super lean. He just carries it really, really well. That's the one I want to see too when we get pads on though, because you could look one way, but what does that look like when you're lined up against James Daniels? Because to me. Yeah.
You like the signing?
I like that signing a lot. The more and more I'm looking at him talking with him, I'm like, yep, definitely liking this dude. Man. Just his mindset, the way that He's talking about, I got to earn it. I got to earn it. I'm like, bro, you got the contract. You already have earned. He's like, nah, man, I got to earn this respect from these dudes. Like, and I can't get that without being the best out here, without taking this type of energy, without trying to be the leader in the group. Like, I'm like, okay. And he's also high on Trubisky as well. Just, yeah.
He has to be. He's biased.
Yeah, he's very high on Trubisky. I just want to throw that out to you. Yeah.
He thinks it was a sabotage out there.
I'm just saying
he got to saw the sabotage firsthand out in Chicago. Huh?
I'm just saying. He likes Trubisky. But as I've told you before, he's not the first guy that's spoken very highly of Trubisky. You remember when we talked about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the first guy, man.
Mateo Zagora. Cole Beasley, David Johnson, or Myles Gaskin to the Berg? Question mark.
Who you rolling with?
Oh, is he making us pick out of those?
I think so.
Jeez. Probably Gaskin. Ooh, I mean, Beasley, he fits the slot perfectly.
Does.
But I would like to see what Austin does.
Yeah.
And, you're right. Just even outside of Austin, our top three of Pickens, Deontay, and Claypool, I mean, we could put one of those guys in the slot at points.
Is it bad that I'm, initially like David Johnson right now? Is that bad? I don't want to be like that. But
it's either David Johnson or Gaskin for the RB2.
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now, man. Yeah.
I'll go Gaskin. Younger.
Oh, fair enough, man.
You're not asking much from him.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bad situation either way.
Whereas David Johnson, the name, I don't need that here.
Now we don't care about names.
Give me an underrated guy.
Now we don't want the names. I'm over here at least
I'm with David Johnson. Nah.
Yeah.
No. I think he's past his prime.
But I also think to myself, David Johnson in a receiving role, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
And that would be the contrast. I wouldn't want to use him in terms of pass pro, but you're talking about being a guy that can catch out the backfield. David Johnson can definitely do that. And I think he's shifty enough in open space that he can still make some guys miss. I just don't want him to be a guy that you're turning around handing the ball off to or to that level involved. I don't think he's there at this stage in his career.
Yeah, I'll just give you some security in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Sean McCartney, Dotson versus Green at left guard. Who you picking?
Dotson.
Come on, dude.
Is that Kendrick Green? I know he had a good offseason. I mean, we know he posted a picture with Pouncey and things like that. It's all good. I'm with it. But the way Dotson looks to me, he just looks more focused. He looks more confident in his body and who he's supposed to be. And watching him out there, also, I'll throw this out. He doesn't have the do-rag on, man. I almost didn't recognize him.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know. I almost didn't recognize him the first time, though. When he walked by, he's looking. I'm like, is that? I see the number.
Dude, he even said in a YouTube interview, he said, Trubisky's QB1 right now. He said that. I think he was referring just to the OTA period because he said who knows what happens in training camp. But he said, I think they've made it clear it's Trubisky QB1.
I'm glad that everybody else is sharing this type of stuff now.
Yeah, he just straight up said it.
Yeah, because you can see, it's not a bad thing. It's not. Remember, it's day 2. It's 2 days in. One's 5 years in. Another's a month of being a professional. Give it time.
Whoever wins it fair and square. I mean, I'm gonna support him. I mean, if someone's playing good, it's not. I mean, I wasn't picking to do it.
No. Yeah, I wasn't taking it like that.
I know, but I'm just saying, I want to see Pickett do it. I want to see Pickett win the job. But at the same time, if Trubisky's balling out, what can I say? Yeah. Right. And if they say Pickett's not ready, and we can see that. I mean, because we're gonna see training camp. I mean, we're not technically gonna see it firsthand unless we go up there.
Right. But people are.
You're gonna see the preseason games.
You're gonna see it though, and that's the thing. It's I'm just getting a head start on everyone else. That's it. But y'all are still going to get to see the same stuff, and y'all are going to formulate your own opinions. There's certain things that I might see that I might say, you know what, I think that this is good because of this. You might sit and be like, no, I think it's this. And that's fine. But we all can get a chance to see it. Like I said, I'm just early right now.
Yeah. Because I do think there is a reason we picked Pickett, though. You know what I mean?
No, without a doubt, man.
There's some belief that we have in him. But it's just, is he going to be ready? Is he going to be ready as a rookie?
I'm still trying to look into. Think about how confident we were about picking Kenny Pickett and everything that went into that. But then I also think about how fast we signed Mr. Trubisky. That was as soon.
I think it was the first signing in free agency.
It was the first one. So I'm like,
out of everyone.
That meant that you were very confident and that was your guy. So now I'm stuck of okay, well, I can't put all this stock in leaning on Kenny and him being his guy when for a fact every action showed me that Trubisky was your guy. Because remember, they did not wait any time. Bro,
the most shocking signing.
We were like, what? It wasn't nobody else, no trade, nobody. Just Trubisky. I was like, oh, all right, I guess that's the guy. That's the one they wanted the most. That's who they loved. So when I think of Kenny in the same vein, I'm like, so you mean to tell me they love both of y'all to that extent and they feel they got both of their guys? So I can't even say, oh, they're going to give it to him because they like him a little bit more, when they clearly showed their actions and intent for both of these guys in the manner in which when they got both of these guys, man.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. It felt like whenever you're looking back afterwards, you get Trubisky just in case you can't get a quarterback or the quarterback that you want in the draft. Yeah. But then with Pickett falling, and that's the interesting part. Pickett did fall, and you got Trubisky, the guy that you want. But even with all that, you like Pickett enough to draft him. Yeah. So it is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Like the one guy said, this preseason is going to be lit.
Nah, absolutely, man.
Sean McCartney, how did Liao look? You already said that.
Yeah. For me, like I said, haven't seen a ton of him in terms of like showing off the physical strength, but in terms of his build, he is the biggest, leanest dude out, if that makes sense. Like you watch him, you're like, bro, how are you built like this? But then how are you lean like that? Because I was about to say Dotson, but Dotson still has that like that big back. Like Dotson walking around that thing like, yeah, you're not running up on that dude right there. He just looks way better shape. Yeah.
Jared Kraft, I don't think Tuitt is coming back. If he does, it won't be anytime soon. If Liao starts to slay it, it'll be time to realize that he isn't coming. Don't leave out Loudermilk, too, after these new reports.
Don't leave out Loudermilk. No, for a fact, do not leave out Loudermilk, man.
Mook, do you think with all the time Tuitt has missed, would it affect his performance if he does come back?
I think to an extent it could. I think the two things that stand out to me initially would be the conditioning element of it. Anytime you're talking about bigger body guys, the conditioning is real. And when you're talking about guys not practicing and not having to prepare for a game in over a year, you just have to ask yourself, where is his conditioning at? We know a guy can be overweight or even underweight in some extents, but what's your cardio? What's your game conditioning like? And it's hard. It's very, very hard. Think TJ Watt early on last year. He still wasn't even into full-on game shape. And he was at least showing up to do individual practice. He wasn't doing the team portion, but he was still doing indie. And it still took him time. Tuitt hasn't been out there in over a year, so I do think that would be the first part. And then the second thing is I think the rust with hand placement and pad level. It's hard to be sharp and clean and detailed with your hand placement and your pad level when you're not repping it. That's something that Isaiah Loudermilk was really talking about a lot for himself in terms of what he wanted to improve. He's like, yo, my footwork and my hand placement. He was like, but I can't do that until I get to this phase. It's like you can hit a dummy all you want. You can work with a trainer all you want, but it's different when you're actually out there versus NFL caliber players. So I do think to an extent we would see some rust with Tuitt early on. I don't know how long it would take for him to get where he needs to be. I think that depends on where he's at physically right now. And as you know, like everybody else, none of us have that information. So,
Cam told us he's putting in the workout in Indy.
Yeah, that's what he said. We just don't know anything right now.
Gamonier, shout out to Missy Matthews.
Yeah,
Steelers
man.
legend, no cap.
Nah, facts, man. It was great seeing Missy, man. She pulled back up, man. Absolutely. Had to go out there and work with somebody else yesterday on camera, man. She that's my camera partner right there, man. Shout out to Missy, man.
Moises Sombrano says Bengals and Bills have something in common by losing the Super Bowl. But then he says it's a joke.
Oh, well, I mean, technically they do. You know.
Bengals what? They lost two, right? They lost one back in like the 80s or something.
Yeah, Bills got a 4-piece. Chill out, man. Don't
Did you ever see that documentary?
I've seen it. Bro,
that's a tough documentary.
Man. I'm immersed in, the Super Bowl flaws and everything like that, the highs and the lows, the storyline behind each of them. When you're in Buffalo and you're part of that team, you're part of that community for multiple years, man, you feel it. You feel it. Why you think I was so excited these past couple years when they making these playoff runs? Because it's like, I know that pain they got, bro. Like,
these have been their best chances since
seriously, man. Like, it's times, man, and usually I'm not even like this, where I'm like, oh man, I want my old squad to do all right. Usually I don't. When I was in Pittsburgh, like when I first left Buffalo, man, I was like, yo, I hope Buffalo get beat by 1,000 every week. Like,
they're tugging on your heartstrings though, right?
Whereas
now.
like now that, everything has changed, the ones that we had issues with are no longer there. It's like, man, hey, let's chill out.
Wow.
But none of those guys are going. I'm like, yo, man, I want to see them dead, man. Like, it hurt my heart, man, when it was we getting beat, bro. I was like, no, man. Because they didn't experience what I've experienced in Pittsburgh. It's like, man, I know what that feels like. I know how awesome it is. I can see what the impact it has on the fan base. And it's just like, man, I feel like, man, them dudes, they just deserve they just need to feel that. You know what I'm saying? They need to feel it. Because for us, man, I love it. You know how it is, man. You've lived it. That's all you know.
Yeah.
So it's different, man. But yeah, for them, it's like, oh, man. Dude, oh, you got to just get you one, man. So we'll see.
Stella Fierce. Miles Jack is adorable. Is that part of Pro Bowl consideration? Any comments about his OTA performance? I don't even know what is being asked right here.
I don't know either. In terms of him being adorable,
Oh, I guess she's saying because he's good looking.
Yeah,
is that going to help him get into the Pro Bowl?
Stella, I think it will, because you do have to have a fan vote, and if he does have handsomely, or very nice features, that could help him not just with guys, but it could get him some more of the female votes as well, man. So in a sense, it could help him. Yes.
Well, she also does say any comments about his OTA performance.
Nothing that jumped off to me right away. To me, he just looks like one of those veteran guys that knows what he's doing. No different when I talk about Trubisky, right? And I say, yo, he looks like he's comfortable. He knows, he's reading, processing things fast. To me, when I look at Miles, the only thing that's slow with Miles right now is the communication part. But more so because I think Devin is doing more of the speaking, like just based off of where they were aligned.
Green dot guy.
Yeah, like they don't have the green dots just yet, but early on, Devin was in place where he would be the green dot guy. Miles is the one having to walk out the box and do some of that type of stuff. So with that being the case, to me, I didn't think that Miles ever looked like he was out of position. Athletically, he runs with any of these dudes. That's the other part. Like, that's not going to be an issue at all. He can run with any of these dudes. Perfect. I just think he's catching up with communication because it's still early for him. And that's the other part where I'm just like, all right, how long does it take? Because I remember when I first came into the defense, even though I'd already played 4 years in the league, it's still, whenever you're going from one defense that you've been into for a couple of years to something different, it just takes time to get the communication to make it all match up the way it's supposed to. And I think that that's right now where Miles is. But athletically, man, he's definitely fine. I just think for him, it's just getting comfortable with the way that we communicate and the way that we walk out, because it is very different in some aspects than what he was doing in Jacksonville.
Sure. Sean Diddy 6. Is it hard to believe that we were 11-0 at one point?
I mean, we were. I blame Deke, though. That's
what did I do?
That's when you double down on MVPs and all this other stuff.
Bet my eyebrows.
Chest. Yeah, you bet an eyebrow, and then we just spiraled out of control, man. That
season did spiral out of control.
Yeah, man. Started out beautiful, had us all feeling nice, and then you just went crazy. Thanks a lot.
Juju was dancing on logos.
Oh man, it got gory.
Q, petition to get Mike T on the pod. Whoa.
Hey, well, me and Coach T, we low-key been having beef lately.
Whoa.
Because every time I see him, he got something slick to say about JMU. And I cut him a look every time. But he says it right in the middle of me, like, doing my live shows on the radio.
Wait, why is he shedding on him?
Because he went to William Mary. It's the rival. It's kind of like Pitt, West Virginia. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So this been going on. Like, I done tapped his pocket. He done tapped my
He's bringing
pocket.
this up out of nowhere? Is there any connection to what he's talking about?
No, it's just every day. It's every day. I said I'm going to go to HR because he keeps harassing my school. I'm sitting there. I'm doing my intro. We talking. I don't even think it's an interview yet. The Pitt guys are right over here. I'm like, yo, we do our little, because everybody's give us, it's all love. Like, it's like, it was all good. It's like, da, da, da. It's like, hey, yo, Moats, good to see you. Just remember, JMU, they suck. Da, da, da. I'm like, if I went on the air right now, the Pitt dude's looking like, dang, he talking about that powerhouse like that? Nah, it was kind of like, yo, what school is that? But still, to me, the way that I interpreted it, they were kind of like, yo, that powerhouse, that's who you're talking about? And I'm just sitting here like, bro, we gonna see each other, coach. I know your car out there. I synced where you park at. Yeah.
What was your record against William and Mary?
I was 3-1. Yeah. Yeah, 3-1. The only time I lost was my senior year to them. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, it wasn't a bad thing. Because by then,
you won that depoy, right?
Absolutely. And
you balled out.
And me and Coach T, we joke about that because they had a guy named Adrian Tracy coming out who he was supposed to be the guy in the conference. And the year before, they had given him Player of the Year, and I was over here hot. Like, I was still kind of like the I had a guy on my team that was a vet, so it was like he got a little more recognition, but my numbers were better. So by the time we got to that William Ray game my senior year, I was already on one, and my whole mindset was it's not going to be close when we leave out of this building who the best defensive player is in the country. And yes, the results followed. They won. Our team, like at that time, we didn't have no quarterback. Like that was our whole thing. So it was like, yeah, we're gonna lose. All right, cool. But somebody getting knocked out. Something like that was our energy. It was a foul time. It was foul.
Your senior year for JMU was 2019 Steelers.
Yes, and I was TJ. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on a mission. That was my energy.
Hey,
yes.
You can put you and TJ in the same breath. You guys both have deep
That was my
boys.
energy right there, bro.
You guys both have deep
I was
boys.
trying to kill people out there. Like, yep, I don't care. All right, we're going to lose. Okay, somebody going to be hurt today. Somebody going to be sad when they go home because I'm dropping you on your head. Like, that was my energy, man. But, yes, we always, it's never ending. But I love it, though. It's just, it's our dynamic, man. But, yeah, I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to see what's up. Like, yo, Coach T, man, look. I'm going to allow you to say 2 more slanderous things about JMU if you just take some time to come on the podcast, all right? And we'll call it even.
I'll ask him what happened in 2021 with Ben's last season.
Oh,
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, I'm about to say, don't you do that now. Don't you do that.
I'm not that guy.
Please don't do that.
I'm not that guy.
Don't you, I got to see these people every day, man. I've been confronted on multiple occasions over you before. Don't you do it with not my Coach T, man. I do not need that energy with Coach T. That's why, it's certain people, it's like, yo, when they make a joke and it's like, I can joke back, but it's like, I'm not going to joke. I don't want to win that joke. Every time, you got it, Coach. All right. I just hold it in. It's certain ones. He's one of them. I'm like, you know what? I will take this L. I'm going to grin and bear it. But you do that all, man.
No, I'd ask him about the good stuff. There's probably so much stuff I could ask him over the past, what's he been a coach for, 14, 15 years?
Yeah,
here?
seriously, man.
There's probably so much stuff I could ask him.
No, easily, man. Easily.
Let's go, UW. What's your opinion on the edge guys we get as undrafted free agents in OTA so far?
I have not checked them out to that extent just yet, but now that I know that you're interested in them, man, I'll make sure that I look into them a lot more next week's practice. All right, because like I said, I won't be there tomorrow. I got some stuff going on, but I'll definitely look into those dudes, man. And that's why at the end of all the videos that you've been seeing thus far, I'm saying, hey, let me know what groups y'all want me to look at. Let me know what people, what specific players, so that way I kind of got an idea, because I can't sit out there and look at everybody at once because there's too much going on. And you gotta remember, I'm hosting a show as well. So it's not like I'm just like sitting there taking notes. I'm like talking and interviewing people and stuff like that. But I'll definitely make sure that, next week's shows and stuff like that, man, that I'm tuning into some of these edge guys, undrafted guys, man, to give you a little update on them as well.
Sean McCartney, how bad would it be if Pickett doesn't start?
I don't think it's going to be a terrible thing. I think if anything, it would be more so the formality of what I've been seeing early on in terms of just Kenny not being prepared just yet from a mental capacity. Because like I said, athletically, I think that he is the best athlete in the room in terms of size, speed, throwing ability. I think he has that, being able to improvise. I think that he gives you the most upside there. I just think that he has to get the other parts of his game caught up at this level. And like I said, it's just 2 days in, so he has time. So if he's not starting week 1, I don't think that it's an indictment on him or, the staff that drafted him. I just think it's got to give him more time. And when you think about quarterbacks in this league, there isn't a rhyme or reason between the guys that did start year 1 versus the guys that set year 1 in terms of their success. We can point to both sides, guys that started as a rookie and guys that set as rookies that have had successful careers and guys that have struggled from either party of it. So I don't think that I wouldn't put too much stock into it if he isn't starting early on. I would not do that.
Yeah. AJ Martinez says the TRB number 10 takes us to the playoffs. He's a Trubisky guy.
Oh, fair enough. Now, honestly, man, I could definitely see that with Trubisky. I don't know 30-10. I'm not that optimistic about him.
Are you adding some touchdowns?
I did not say that, but I do think in terms of him keeping the offense on schedule, him being able to take necessary shots, and him being able to make this offense not be one-dimensional, I definitely think that he can do that. And I think it will continue to improve the more confident he gets. And if he just taps back into some of the early Chicago, before it got as bad as it did for him at times, I think that he could still be fine for us in that capacity, man, based on what we're asking him to do. But we're not, like, from what I've seen, we're not asking him to sit back there and throw that ball 40 times. We're not asking him to run a Patrick Mahomes style offense or even a Josh Allen style offense. This is very similar, like you said, to what he was doing in Chicago. I'm handing that ball off. I'm trying to hit my tight ends. I'm going to take the shots I need to take, but I'm going to make sure I don't turn this ball over, and I'm leaning on my defense and special teams. As long as he's doing that, I think that he will thrive in that role. I really do. But it's going to be, can he consistently do that? Because it's easier to do it, especially as a veteran. When you get to OTA practices, man, it's not a lot that's going to surprise you. It's not a lot that's going to ever have you looking bad on tape. After your, fourth time, fifth time going through it, you call a bad practice, man, I was 3 inches too far that way. Oh, my hand placement. Oh, I caught the shoulder instead of the crest of the number. Like, that's where you get to. So when I'm watching Trubisky, that's what it looks like. It's like, man, he's not going to have a ton of big errors. It's not going to be a ton of, oh, man, I couldn't read this coverage. I threw a pick at the guy in the face. No, that's not happening with him. It's going to be, all right, how fast did you get that read? Okay, when you turned your head around, where were your feet? Where was this at? Those type of things are what he's going to be at. And that's why this time of year right now, it's like, yeah, Mitch should look like he could be a playoff caliber guy. He should look like that. So for me, man, I do feel good about him. I just want to know, can he do it week in and week out? And that's going to be the biggest thing, but we won't know that until the season gets here regardless.
This comment was unnecessary, but we appreciate your support. He says, Tuitt doing like 7 did the last 2 years.
Oh, no.
Hashtag holding us hostage.
Oh, no.
Come on, bro. Get out of here.
Oh, no.
They held Ben hostage.
I mean, at least 7 was there. I feel like it is both. I mean, I get it. I don't want to be messy, but I'm like, at least in just the factual sense, one guy was there. Regardless of what y'all think of 7's play last year or the past 2 years, he was there. He was there, and that's got to count for something, man.
Yeah. That is it for the Super Chats.
Thank
you for carrying a good portion of the show, though.
Hey, man,
good questions.
Man. This is one of them ones where I was like, you know what? Today is going to be my day. Today is one of them ones where I got to make sure I come up with a good, legitimate report. And I wanted to make sure I did my due diligence, man.
Probably the best report I've ever heard.
Damn, man, you going to make me blush today. All right.
Has to do with Steelers, has to do with OTAs, and has to do with information not all of us are privy to. It's a great report.
For sure, then. For sure. All right. Well, shoot, man. With that being said, we did have a new hire, or there's rumors that we got a new hire.
I think it's official.
Is it official
Steelers
now?
Twitter.
It's official now? All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do the rollout then.
Schefter announced it, so it is official, right?
Well, you know how we feel.
That was
about
yesterday.
that, absolutely. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, based on all the reports and apparently the Steelers as well, we do have our new GM.
You can see it right here.
Absolutely. Our new GM and our new assistant GM as well, man. So for those that have not seen, the Pittsburgh Steelers have officially promoted the former vice president of football and business administration, Omar Khan, to the general manager position, taking over for the retiring Kevin Colbert. Then they also not promoted, but they brought in Andy Weidl, or how are we saying that? Are we saying Weidl? Well,
I'm thinking Weidl.
Weidl?
Yeah.
All right, Andy Weidl from the Philadelphia Eagles, but we brought him in as our assistant general manager as well. So first off, man, Omar Khan, how you feel, man?
Good move. And I was saying this earlier today. I honestly think I would have said good move to whoever we hired at GM.
Fair enough.
Because we brought in a ton of qualified candidates. Then we whittled it down to 6. Actually, probably outside of your boy, Weidl, after he said that Jack Ham comment. You can't hire him after he says that Jack Ham comment. You can't say Jack Ham would just be a special teams player and then hire him as a GM right after that. Am I right?
Me and Wifey did look at each other.
Did he just not want the job? Is that what happened?
Me and Wifey definitely looked at each other when that report came out. And we said, yep, even if he was the front runner, he done lost it. I said, there is 0. I said, babe, it's a wrap. She was just like, yo, why would he? I said, I don't know. And I'm trying to be like, serious, like in the sense of, well, I can understand the difference of speed and size, but I'm like, babe, I just can't. That's a lot. That's a crazy
One of the best NFL players of all time.
Of all time.
Not even just Steelers.
Not a random, and not even saying he would be good or just a role player. He said, he'll be a backup special teamer. I'm like, so you're basically he's a practice squad player is what you're telling me. Bruh. How? It can't be. And don't tell me intangibles, because when I look at Robert Spillane, you're going to tell me Robert Spillane, and you know Rob, man, we got love for Rob. Rob's been on the show, like we salute Rob, man, but is Robert Spillane an all-world athlete compared to Jack Ham?
Vince Williams said he thinks Jack Ham would be amazing for this era.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it, man. I think that he fits that narrative, man. He was a smaller linebacker, speed guy, can cover. You see the interception that he has. Like, yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot.
So I guess he would have been the tough one if we were going to hire him. But no, I mean, if this is the route we wanted to go, I'm completely fine with it, because Omar Khan is really qualified. He's been Kevin Colbert's right-hand man through all of this, through basically the last 2 decades. And
he's been here since, what, 2001? We said 2001, 2002 time frame?
Yeah, something like that. And he's become the numbers guy. And over these past however many seasons, we've been having to deal with building a team around having a franchise quarterback contract. And he's been making things work. Specifically, I mean, throughout these last 3 or 4 years. How did we sign Ebron? How did we sign Melvin Ingram? Because we were cash strapped.
Yeah, absolutely.
These last, 2 or 3, and didn't think we'd have any salary cap space, but he was able to make the numbers work. So, I mean, I'm completely fine with it. Like, why not? I mean, why not? That's the big question to me. Like, who were you pounding the table for if it wasn't for him? I know a lot of other people are thinking, all right, I wanted Brandon Hunt, but I think it was just an either-or game with Omar Khan or Brandon Hunt. They're both really qualified. Yeah. It's just, what do you prefer? And we brought this assistant GM to take care of some of the scouting, because that's more of his background. So I like this duo. You call it a dynamic duo now in the front office.
Yeah, to me, man, I definitely think it's a good signing, because you need the numbers guy. Like you talked about, we don't have an Ebron. We don't have some of these free agents that we were able to bring in without Omar Khan. And when you're talking about year in and year out having a competitive roster, you have to have number guys. You have to have guys that can make the cap work, because we've seen these teams that don't have that, where they have these gross contracts out there, and it's like, man, this dude isn't even playing for them, and they're still taking on dead money, or they got all these guys under high paid contracts and he's hurt, he's not good anymore, what's going on here? And it's like, man, they just need a guy that can make the numbers work. Omar has proven time and time again that he can definitely do that. And I think that there is a need for that. And even more so now, when you're talking about the new wave that we're going to be dealing with, it's still a lot of money and numbers involved. It's just different, because now, instead of it being one person in terms of Ben Roethlisberger having that mega contract, now it's a TJ Watt, it's a Cam Hayward, it's a Tuitt, it's potentially a Deontay Johnson. So you're still dealing with big, robust contracts, but now it's more of them, more moving pieces. You want an Omar Khan. You want a guy that can make sure, hey, I know how to get this. I can make that work. I can make these numbers happen like the way they need to. So I do think that is a huge asset, a huge positive for him. In terms of why it could be viewed as a negative, well, we talked about it. He is solely a numbers guy. So when you're talking about talent evaluation, there is a little bit of a drop-off when you're talking about him versus a Brandon Hunt, him versus, a Kevin Colbert. There's a drop-off there. But that's the part where you talk about Andy being brought in as the assistant GM. He was Philadelphia's version of Brandon Hunt. He was their player personnel guy. He
learned
under Tim Donahue and Bill Nunn here. Yes, he was here in '98 with the Steelers, man. So once again, homegrown, right? We like to keep in-house. Come on, man.
And he's from here.
Absolutely, he was at Mount Lebanon, right? I think
that's right around here.
Yeah. So with Andy, man, to me, I like the contrast, because it made a lot more sense seeing Omar Khan get the job and not Brandon Hunt when you're bringing in Andy Weidl, because if you're not Andy Weidl, how are we saying? We say Weidl?
Yeah.
Whatever. Right, Andy Weidl. I'm gonna get the clarification of his name, man. But with Andy, the seeing that contrast, because if Brandon Hunt, if you weren't gonna name Brandon Hunt the assistant GM, then I would be a lot more concerned about Omar taking on this role solely by himself. But now, knowing that, hey, you have a numbers guy, you have a guy that, based on Philadelphia people, they look at him, like I said, in a very similar fashion in terms of how we view Brandon Hunt. One of those guys that, man, you want him in your organization. He's the guy. The way he can view talent and stuff like that, like, it's legit. We know in 2016 when he joined Philly, we seen them win a Super Bowl after that as well, man. So, he's been a part of some good positive culture changes also. And we know with us here in Pittsburgh, we've still been successful, but we haven't had a postseason win since I was playing, which is too long ago, man. So that is something that I think, when you're talking about bringing in more talent, more players, you want guys that have done that before. You want guys that understand, all right, we need a little bit of this. We need some of that right there. So I do like those two guys being together. But yeah, as a whole, man, I think this is a good move, man. Both of those guys working together, both of those guys hired together, one being the GM, one being the assistant GM. I like that. And we still know Kevin Colbert is still going to be around. He's like that shadow figure now.
This is what the Ravens did these last couple of years. I was watching a YouTube video, and they compared it to Ozzie Newsome stepping down, but he's taking like a back seat. And then DaCosta coming up, like, he's been waiting in the wings for however long, and it's been successful. So I don't know why, if Ravens are doing, why can't we have success?
No, I'm with it, man. I did not know that about the Ravens either, man. So yeah, I like that. And then we also got Coach Tomlin here as well, man, who we know he has an eye for talent. He can evaluate as well, man. So I just think as a whole, man, we have a really good group here that's going to be able to usher in this new regime at the GM and assistant GM position. It's just unfortunate. I do feel like with these hires and the internal promotion that this probably does mean we'll be losing Brandon Hunt. If not this year, probably next year. I don't see him wanting to stay around, knowing that now he's probably officially capped. Yeah, because both of these dudes are young, and we know that still they don't fire and make crazy overhauling changes after 1 year. This is a 4 or 5 year type thing before we probably see another change, unless they absolutely are atrocious, which we don't anticipate happening. Yeah, if you're Brandon Hunt, you're kind of stuck, man. Hopefully, He did interview for an assistant GM job last week, though. So
he did.
So if he gets that, I think that'd be a great.
And I guess this kind of makes sense too, because if you're Brandon Hunt, you're not taking the assistant GM role to Pittsburgh. Omar Khan in-house. You guys were both up for the GM role. You guys know each other. Whereas it makes sense for the Eagles guy out of house coming in and saying like, all right, maybe this is a lateral move, maybe a little bit up, even though I was going for the GM job, but I have no immediate connection. I know he was with the Steelers how long ago, but that was more of an intern.
Well, and he might could look at Omar and say, well, you know what, Omar's a numbers guy, but this is an upgrade for me. I can learn from him, and then who knows, in a couple of years, if it doesn't work out, I'll be the bumped up guy. That's different for B. Hunt, though. B. Hunt is technically the third guy on that list now. Yeah, that don't make sense, man. Yeah, it just sucks, like I said, because B. Hunt's been an awesome dude, man. Good dude, hard worker. To see the growth, to see how he's emerged, and to make himself into a candidate that he is, man, where he's not just being viewed in Pittsburgh for a potential promotion, but viewed league-wide. Mm-hmm. We talked about, he had an interview in Philly. He's interviewed in Buffalo. He interviewed, I think it was in Chicago as well, if I remember correctly. So he's getting out there more and more. I just think, man, that this is probably going to signal the end of him being here from a long-term perspective. Like I said, he still might be around for this year if the hiring cycle goes around and he doesn't, get that assistant GM job in Buffalo or one of these other spots from a front office perspective. We'd have a powerhouse
in the scouting department then.
Oh, yeah, it'd be nuts,
for this year.
It would be nuts. Yeah. But like I said, I just don't see him staying here longer than that, though, man.
The other thing with Khan, I think he's really well equipped for this new era. I mean, as best you can be as a new guy coming in, because he was here this whole time from Ben's rookie contract through us having to give him multiple contracts as the franchise quarterback, us building awesome rosters, contending for Super Bowls, going to Super Bowls, winning divisions. We haven't had a losing record in the last 18 years, and he was around for all of that. So if Pickett pans out to be the franchise quarterback, who better than Khan, the guy that got to see us already deal with Ben as a rookie those first 3 or 4 years, and then giving him those franchise contracts. Like, he was there. So who better to deal with this new era than Khan? He was there the whole time. I mean, I don't know what his role was early on, but he at least got to see it.
There. Yeah,
I'm sure Colbert gave him some tips at some point over these last 2 decades. So, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, man, I think this is going to be a good move. Obviously, time will tell in terms of now that he's taken over some of the moves that he's going to make. Do you re-sign Deontay or not? What does that look like? Outside free agents, who are you bringing in, if any of these guys? this is all what we're going to start to see happening now.
Is he a little more aggressive?
Yeah.
Is he a little more conservative?
Even when you talk about the season getting here, how aggressive are you in terms of the trades? That's something that we've seen Kevin Colbert kind of become more aggressive in later on.
Maybe that was a little Khan influence.
Who knows, right? Who knows? But that's something that we're going to get a chance to see, man, in terms of, are you aggressive or are you more conservative? Do you operate like Deke? I'm trading all my picks for this guy because I love the name. Let's get him. Bring him on in here. You know what I mean? We're going to see, though, man, in all seriousness, man. So that's why, for me, man, I am really excited to see what that looks like.
Could we actually get an Odell Beckham?
Yeah, like, seriously, yeah. Because
one of these star receivers are a little disgruntled mid-season.
Because how many times would we bring it up and we would say, well, that's not the Steelers, but we know they're not going to do this. Well, now we can't say that because we don't know. We do not know how he's going to react. We do not know what Andy might think in terms of Andy Weidl. I'm going to go with Weidl. I'm sticking with Weidl. I'm sticking with it, all right?
But I do think the great part about it is I don't think he's going to go off the rails with anything because we do have this balance of power.
Yeah.
Rooney, Tomlin, too. I mean, I'm sure Tomlin's going to have to sign off on some stuff. You still have Colbert around giving some advice. So it can't go completely off the rails here. There's no way. So, I like the move, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with it. Is anyone mad about it? That was I was wondering today. Is anyone actually mad about it?
I don't think anyone was, quote-unquote, mad. I just think that it was just a difference of opinions. Like, some people like Brandon Hunt more than Omar because the numbers versus the player personnel side. And initially, that was how I felt. Initially, I was kind of like, man, I get going Omar, but man, I just don't know where he's at from a
Hunt's
football,
really talented.
Like a evaluation element of it. But seeing them bring in Andy Weidl as well, that was the part where it kind of eased it because now I'm saying, okay, he doesn't have to take on this role by himself. He will have somebody that is very well versed in this avenue, which is his weakness. And seeing that they went with Andy, it just made more sense. Basically what you just said and what I said, in the sense of, it's hard for B Hunt to be competing against you for this spot. Now you get the spot. Now, okay, I'm gonna work for you. I'll be your number 2.
I'll be the assistant.
Like, come on, bro. That I mean, the energy is gonna be.
It would be a better move for B Hunt to be the assistant GM in Buffalo, probably.
Yeah, it definitely would, man.
Because that'd be a whole new role for him, whole new organization, and maybe that'll give him the jump start to actually get a GM.
Too, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Come on, man, chill out, bro. We got 6 of these things. We can't. They can't get one. We got 6.
We need one every year.
We have 6. Well, if we don't get one, can they get the one though? If we don't get one. If we don't get it this year,
that's just up to chance. I don't know.
Come on, man.
That's not my decision. That's up to God.
Would you come to the game with me?
What, like a Super Bowl or an AFC championship?
If it was Bills in the Super Bowl, you're not coming with me?
I can't do that.
Come on, man.
You might have to call someone else up there.
You wouldn't roll with me, dog.
No, I'd be annoyed. Man. I wouldn't be a good hang.
Yes,
I don't think.
Would, man.
I would not be a good hang.
Would. They drink White Claw. Actually, they drink Labatt Blue. But
I mean, I'd be going up in my Steeler jersey.
That's fine. It's the Super Bowl.
I'm not celebrating.
Everybody wears everything at the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're saying for the Super Bowl?
What you thought I was talking about? That's what I
just
said.
I thought you said AFC Championship game.
No, you said AFC Championship. I said Super Bowl. They already been in the AFC Championship game. We ain't go out there to Kansas City.
I'm just telling you, I'm not celebrating if they do anything good.
You would.
That's what I mean. I'd probably be a lame hang.
Nah, for a fact, bro. I can tell you never been to the Super Bowl before. You say that until you would be at the Super Bowl, and you would be in there white clawed up, no shirt on, 1,000% guaranteed, bro.
I'm not celebrating.
Guaranteed you would, bro.
I'm stone cold.
Guaranteed you would. Guaranteed you would. Guaranteed you would.
I'm not celebrating for either of those teams. I'm just trying to watch some good football.
I hear you. It's one of them things.
Did you go to a Super Bowl? What Super Bowl did you go to?
I went Seahawks and Bucks. I mean Seahawks and Broncos.
Oh, and
yeah, Percy Harvin running it back, all that. Yeah,
they got
absolutely,
man. Up in New York.
Mm-hmm. It
was cold.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I thought you were gonna say Seahawks Patriots. That Super Bowl was insane.
No, I actually, what was that? I didn't watch that one. Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of them. The only reason I was in that one was I was nominated for the United Way. Each team had like a spokesman for the United Way, and I was the Bills spokesman. And because like the amount of money that I raised, it put me in like, oh, or it's you versus Cliff Averill with the Seahawks. It's like, oh man, y'all two are the charity Super Bowl champions. Like y'all gonna go off and face each other. So we had to go down there. They flew us all and all that stuff. It was love, and I took on the crown right there, man. Shout out to all my Buffalo people for the community service and stuff like that. But yeah, it was that type of vibe. But we had to be down there for the game, and the energy was nuts, man. It was crazy. And I was definitely anti both teams. I'm like, I hope both of y'all lose. Until you're down there, you feel the energy. You're like, all right, this is kind of dope. This is kind of cool. Yeah.
You just found yourself rooting for the Seahawks?
No, I wasn't rooting for anybody, but I was turning up though. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, you wouldn't root for a team, but you're definitely going to turn up And you're definitely gonna
drink.
party. And that's all I've been saying. You was over. You try to be so defensive
No,
that
I
you
just
don't listen.
no,
That's what you do, bro.
I just know
that's what you do,
will
man.
Get really excited about Bill stuff.
What are you
where I would not
about,
be. I would
bro?
just be hanging.
You see,
you be trying to get me to celebrate and stuff.
Man.
You'll be like,
Nobody's saying that. We're not testing your Steelers fandom.
I brush you to the side.
We know. Hey, you're the big bad Steeler fan. We got it, Deke. We know. Okay. No other team. We got it, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be having any of it. But you're right. I mean, going to the Super Bowl. I've never been to the Super Bowl. It'd be a good opportunity.
Because the whole time I was like, I don't even want to go. I ain't even going to like it. Shoot, turned out having the time of my life, man. Got me a new agent when I was down there, man. Shout out to Drew. Let's go. Everything goes down to the Super Bowl too, bro. Oh, no, that's the other big thing. Like, you see everybody. Okay. All type of who's, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do feel like that just might feel like a slap in the face, though.
Nah, man,
you know, just...
You got this, bro.
Just like you would take me to the Bills, like we're talking Steelers the whole time. We're going to Steeler games, and then
but we're saying if the Steelers are not in it, if the Steelers fall short and the Bills were to be going to the Super Bowl, I just think because we've talked Bills before, you've cut up Bills tape before. I feel like you're slightly invested. That's all. Okay, that's all.
Nah.
You can wear your Steelers stuff, man. Trust me. Like you go to
I wear a Dawson jersey.
People be wearing everything there, man. Like we were there, Seahawks, Broncos, man. I seen a dude full New Orleans Saints get up. You would have thought he played for the team. I'm like, bro, you even got the gym bag to go with it. Like that type of energy, bro. So you see that's all that happens, man. Yeah.
Hey, so you want to go to the super chats here?
Let's get it, man.
I got some breaking news. I don't know if I'm on the same one as you. I'm at 828 style, B2B style, whatever that is. 828 style.
Yes, that's about right. Yep.
Cap just got a tryout with the Raiders.
For real?
That's what he just said.
What?
I can double check.
Double check that thing, boy.
Someone else said that earlier.
We'll double check that thing one time, boy. Double check that thing. Let's see what they're talking about.
Yeah, first thing he pop up on Google suggestions: Kaepernick Raiders. Kaepernick to work out for Las Vegas Raiders on Wednesday. Sources said. Is he the new Mariota for them? Maybe.
Okay. Well, shoot, man. I'll research for that. All right. Sound good to me. You know, I don't need a lot of reasons to research, but that sounds like one today. So yeah, I'm with it, baby.
Yeah.
Thoughts on it?
Good for him.
Okay. Does he still got it?
I mean, he's not starting.
Nah.
Like I said, it could be a Mariota rule.
But I'm saying, like, can he do that? Do you think he could do that? That's what I mean by like still got it.
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, even Cam in that role had success last year. Like
he did.
When they put him back to starter, though, that's when things went down the tubes. How
do you feel about those two guys right now?
But like even Mariota had success with that last year. So like why not Kaepernick? Yeah.
So like when I'm thinking of Kaepernick and Cam Newton right now, we know Cam has been playing more recently, but we also feel like Cam looks a lot more just worn down in some instances. Whereas with Cap, he hasn't played as often. This was 5 years now?
Maybe even longer. Maybe 6.
Might even longer. Yeah. So just in terms of those two guys in this type of role, how do you feel about them? Like, how do you one way or the other?
Wow. I don't know. It's not the role that you want either way.
Yeah.
But who could have success? I just don't see why Kaepernick can't have success in that role, if that makes sense. Because he is well rested. I mean, like you said with Cam. Like Cam's been banged up a little bit.
Cam body, we looked at Cam. Cam body don't look the same, bro.
Like comparing him versus. I guess I'm only really going off that Cardinals game last year with Cam, right? He had the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, Mariota had success. Like what,
though, bro? 6 years, 5.5. That's a long time, man.
I always thought Kaepernick was more dynamic than Mariota to begin with.
I would agree with that.
So like, even if he lost a step and he's on Mariota's level, like, how often did they do the Mariota stuff last year?
No, they would do it.
Would they?
Pretty much every. I thought it was like every game.
I was gonna say, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago. Oh, I'm thinking too far in the past, but he was doing it last year.
He was doing it last year still. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he could be fine. Because in
I
goal line situations, I do think it helps.
Yeah, and then one of the games, I thought he pulled his hammy or something like that, doing one of them runs, man. Yeah, but that's definitely something they were doing with him.
That would make sense, though. That would make sense. So,
I tell you what,
good
man,
for Kaepernick.
If he can still run, man, I know what chasing Cap is like. firsthand experience. That is not fun at all, man.
And he's a big dude. I mean,
no, absolutely. He's not easy to take down, bro.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't back then. Like I said, I don't know what he is now at this stage. We all are a lot older. We all are a lot different. I know for me, when I look at these young killers out there on the field, even in helmets and shirts and shorts, I think to myself daily, Deke, I'm glad I'm retired. As I was looking at Najee, and I was talking about the action figure, I was like, if I was still playing right now, if I would have come out of retirement, I would have to hit a guy like that. I don't want to hit that. I don't, bro. The way my shoulders feel great. I woke up out the bed this morning. I kissed wifey, man. My back felt amazing. Just thinking about hitting Najee, I was like, y'all need to get some ice, bro. My back hurting, man. I'm about to call the doc. My shoulder, I think it is separated just by looking at him, bro. Yeah. So if Cap want to take that chance, Cap, hey, man, go for it. I support you because I'm all for the 30 and ups holding it down. So go do your thing, but yeah, baby, be careful. Cause these young dudes, man, hey, all right, these young dudes, man, they don't look like they used to. All right, be careful.
He said he wanted to get back in the NFL.
Yeah,
there's his opportunity.
And this is low key better than what we were suggesting for him in terms of USFL.
He might actually have a role.
XFL, fan control league. Like, no, he could legit carve a role out of this thing if he's able to do what they're going to be asking him to do. The size, the speed, it should all be there. I know, like I said, from just personal experience, me playing against him, man, when it was the second to last year in San Fran, 2015, if I remember correctly. Dude was a handful, man. Like, you're not as worried about him beating you with his arm exclusively, but you knew he could extend plays. You knew he could make guys miss. And if he ever got a chance to go full speed north and south, yeah, get your hamstrings ready because we in for one. If that's what they're asking him to do, why can't he do it, man?
And that actually gives him a faster path to maybe get a chance to start again because all you need is a couple good games where you're doing that role. And then I think other teams could start being intrigued next offseason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Mariota borderline has a starting role right now.
And all he did was do what? This role right here, man.
Sat the bench and did this role. Exactly. Yeah. So if he could have a little more success than Mariota,
because you're not, like I said, because you're not bringing him in to be a throw the ball 40 times, beat you with your arm, crazy mind, and all that other stuff. No, you're looking for a gadget. You're looking for kind of like I'm trying to think. Yeah, Cam Newton is always the guy that comes up, man. I was even thinking Joe Webb to an extent of doing some of the zone read stuff, but he was more so just exclusively backup in Minnesota and in Carolina. But that's the kind of vibe. Like you said, the Mariotas. I'm trying to think who else comes in for like those one-offs. Dang, who am I trying? It was somebody else that was doing this role recently as well. Just like this, man. But if that's all you're asking from him, yeah, you should.
They did it with Trey Lance a little bit last year.
Okay. I know it was somebody else where it was like, exclusive. Like that's solely what they're trying to do. They might get one pass out of it, but more than likely it's just zone read, pull it, and run. If that's what you're asking Cap to do, I think that Cap could definitely do that and do that a lot better than a lot of these backers who aren't as athletic. I mean, just think in context. Mason Rudolph as our backup, Kaepernick as potentially the Raiders' backup. All right, Mason, we want you to come in here and give you a 10-play package. That 10-play package going to look the exact same as the starter's package. Whereas when you're talking about Kaepernick's package in comparison to Derek Carr, is going to be drastically different. You can get a little bit more direct in a sense. So, yeah, man, I'm down for that.
Mr. B. Malarkey says, you think if B-Flow, Brian Flores, is still blackballed, Mr. Rooney offers him something front office? I like his scouting experience, and B-Hunt is probably gone.
Yeah, I could definitely see something like that. The Steelers there, and they've done this before. Even with Terrell Austin, they did that with him. They don't mind giving guys extra titles, this and this. Linebackers coach / assistant head coach. Linebacker coach / this. Because number one, you're able to pay these guys more, but number two, you give them the credentials by having that title. Even if their role, they're already doing these things. Sometimes you just have to have that title next to you. It just validates you and it puts you in a different pay grade. It puts you on a different level for consideration as well. So yeah, I could definitely see them doing something like that if, Flores still is having issues trying to find, promotions because he's already employed.
Head coach would probably be his next step. But head coach
is where he's looking for. Yeah, he's not trying to go back to being a coordinator. He's a head coach. So yeah.
Q, do we get draft picks if someone signs B. Hunt?
I'm not sure. I know you can trade head coaches. I remember the whole thing with John Gruden. you can do that. I just don't know how that works in terms of like scouting departments, front office executives. I'm not 100% sure on that type of stuff.
That is it for the Super Chats.
Alrighty. So what we're going to do, man, since it is 6:20, we're going to go and we're going to talk the basketball games tonight.
Okay.
And then we will hit the other two topics that we have on Friday.
I don't even remember them, so that's a good thing.
So either way, we're good, man. All right, let's go. So we do have a game tonight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Heat Celtics.
Yes, indeed, man. Heat and Celtics game 5. Obviously, we had the Warriors and Mavericks play last night. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to the boy Dorian Finney-Smith.
Oh yeah.
Huh? You see what the man did? Where he from, Deke? Deke, where that man from? Oh, let that thing fly, Deke. Oh, where he from?
The crib.
Where he from, Deke?
The crib.
Say it with some conviction, man.
It's not my crib.
All right, he says it's not my crib, man. It's a crib. It's not my crib. This is not Buffalo. Like, come on, man. Dang, man. If you ain't gonna get excited for Buffalo, you at least get excited for the crib, man.
I think that's the best I could do.
It's Sukasa. So
I know. I haven't been down there yet. I guess technically I have Virginia Beach.
Yeah, you've been to the crib.
I've seen 757. People say Virginia Beach.
Crib? Virginia Beach is definitely part of the crib. Like 100%, man. It's the touristy part, but it's still the crib. And they still got some spots out there in the beach, man. I got love for my beach people out there, man. I don't be hanging out the beach too much, man. Y'all get a little rowdy out there every once in a while, but I got love for the beach, man.
The crib.
I had some good vacations. It's the crib, bro.
I had some good vacations down there.
Come on, man. My man went. He was getting busy. He gave Luka the help Luka needed.
Yes.
He says somebody had to help Luka. He said, "Why not me?"
You know who else did? Reggie Bullock. Said they weren't losing another game. He
actually did, man.
You got to give him props. You're going to say that after shooting 0 for, was it 0 for 10? He went 6 for 10 for 3. You got to give him props. 18 points. He
responded, man.
Everyone did, though.
I was definitely happy to see that, man. But Luka, man. Luka did what he did, bro.
He's the man.
Luka's definitely doing what he's doing, man. I love Luka's energy, bro. Like, he just has that dog in him, and it shows. The way that he just, I'm not backing down. I'm talking cash junk to every single body, and I'm pulling up. Like, oh, Golden State, you gonna hit a 3? Okay, I got you right here. Bam.
His move his move. You know he's gonna hit a 3, bro. It's through the legs like 3 or 4 times, and he switches it one other time.
That's it.
You know he's popping a 3.
Or he gonna hit you with that super slow inside the paint, and he gonna find a way. I'm like, how did you get to the rack with that move, buddy? He's just one of them dudes, man. He know how to create. He understands the spacing and stuff, man.
What was crazy to me is Dallas owned that game.
They did
the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
But the backups, and it was even the backups for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they get within 8?
All right.
With like 3 minutes left.
All right. Looking like, yo, what's finna happen right here?
Because that was the game 2 vibes. I mean,
was. And that was the difference.
The Warriors comeback happened a little bit earlier, but Dallas had that game. They were up like almost 20 at certain points early in that one.
Yes,
and then they blew that. I was like, is this going to happen? So that the finish doesn't give me that much hope for Reggie Bullock's comment.
I agree. As hype as I was with my mans from the crib going off, I'm like, yeah, it's not happening.
You got to finish better than that.
I was looking for a Golden State Warriors shirt to wear today. Close thing I could find was this colorway, so I said I'm gonna just roll with this, bro. But yeah, it's not happening.
Now Golden State's back at home. For some reason, last podcast I thought this game 4 was gonna be at Warriors home. I kept saying that. I'm like, Golden State's closing it out at home. They're not gonna disappoint their fans. No, it was an away game.
Now. Yeah, it's game
I don't know
5.
why I was thinking that.
Crib. Yeah, I definitely.
But now game 5's at Golden State.
I definitely think they get it done, man. Yeah. I mean, when Golden State is on, the way that they play, even when they're off. In that game, they definitely weren't even having one of those shoot the lights out, everybody going crazy. Shoot, to me, Klay still isn't even back to playing like the Klay that we know he can be. He's been streaky at times. The defense has really been the most consistent part for him, but he's not even shooting the ball as well as he could be. I'm like, man, whenever that clicks back up, man, yeah, it's a wrap. I personally think that it's over, though. I think, yeah, Warriors in 5. They get it done.
Yeah, at home. Because you're right. Warriors were just off. Yeah. Mavs hit so many shots. I mean, the difference right here is dude, my man, in the threes.
Dorian had I think he had 4 threes by halftime.
Yeah.
He ended with, did he end with 5 or 6?
No, he ended with 4.
Okay.
But he had 23 points.
Yeah, but so shoot, it was what 19? It was either 17 or 19 going in. Like he was getting off, man, early on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mavericks said 23s made.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State had 10. There's your difference.
Yeah.
And Mavericks didn't allow the Warriors to have all those second chance points they did the game before. But it was just weird how Golden State came back like that.
No, absolutely, man.
Their bench was playing hard, and it was just one of those things. Oh, yeah, they got a little 5-6 point run.
Yeah, all right.
They closed it into like 17 or 18. Then all of a sudden, another little 5 or 6 point run.
When that thing went under 10, I said, oh. So, is that
it was still 3 minutes left. It wasn't just like 1 minute
and that's
left.
the thing.
But then Luka started going off again and, got it back up to like 10, 11, 12.
It definitely had his pause, though. It had his looking like, ooh, hold on now. This is about to get interesting. Yeah. Definitely was.
I think I'm with you, though. It would be cool if somehow the Dallas can extend this thing to like Game 6 or Game 7, though.
I mean,
they needed either Game 2 or 3. That's what they needed, and they didn't get it.
It was a Game 2 where they were up double digits, and that was the one to me. I thought they should have won. Yeah, that's the one I thought they should have won.
It would have been nice if they would have got one at home, but you're right. I feel like the Warriors just outplayed them last game.
They definitely did
throughout the whole thing, but they needed one of those two, and they didn't get it, and it's just going to be tough.
No,
but they're at that 3-1 area you talked about.
But this is different.
Some guys done it before.
It's only been one guy to ever do that.
But this would be 4 in a row.
Yes, it's only been one guy to do that, and he is King James. Okay, Mr. LeBron, that guy. Some people say El Goto. That's what they say. That's what some people say. I don't know how you say it, but that's what some people say.
What's your predictions for tonight?
Because we didn't talk about because we actually did we caught their last game.
No, we got the one that Boston lost, and then Boston won.
They responded to that. The only thing that I'm concerned about tonight, obviously, we're trying to see Jimmy Butler what he's looking like, because since he's come back from being hurt, bro, his game has been kind of off. But Marcus Smart, once again, the ankle. What's that looking like? Is he available? I know it's supposed to be a game time decision. They said that he's still. They talked about him this morning. They said he still has inflammation in his ankle after this morning's walkthrough, so it's shoot around, so there's no guarantee that he's out there. And then Grant Williams was the other guy that you're concerned about. It's crazy.
He's so hit or miss, though.
Yeah, true. But to me, the thing that I didn't realize was that Boston hasn't been full, had their full roster, like their full guys out there at all this series.
Really?
Yeah, they were saying how if Smart and Williams are out there together tonight, that will be the first game this series where they have had the full game.
Who were they missing? Because they had Horford and Smart back for game 2 and 3,
but then,
right?
No. Smart missed, 2 games, I thought. He missed 1 and he played 2. He missed another one, I thought.
4.
Yeah, so 4, yeah. So that was the other one he
4.
missed it, yeah. And then, I'm trying to think, who else then?
It might have been a bench player or something.
Maybe.
I don't think they were missing. Was it Derek White, maybe, one of those games?
Yeah, I can't think of who it was, bro.
Robert Williams. Either way, you're right. I mean, Marcus Smart plays a big
Robert
role.
Williams was coming back from injury anyways, too, man. So we knew with that situation, it could have been him. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, I didn't even think. I'm like, what? They really haven't had the full group just yet? Like,
yeah, they were able to win without Smart last game, but we know the impact that he has, and now it being down to Miami, that's only going to hurt Boston.
Yeah.
This is a toss-up right now. Feels like a toss-up.
Who you rolling with in this toss-up then, man? Because I'm still rolling with the Celtics. You've been flippy-floppy. You've been real wishy-washy.
I know. Then I said Celtics are going to win the series.
Yeah,
still.
you did.
Yeah, I feel like they will. Coming off of that game 4.
Celtics get it done tonight? They get the dub tonight?
I do think so.
Okay.
I do think so. A little more pressure on Miami.
Yeah.
Being at home, feel like they got to get it done, because if they don't, it's going back up to Boston.
If they go back to Boston, they don't win tonight, man. I think it's
going to be a little too much pressure for Miami.
Yeah.
Boston's playing with some house money right now, I feel like.
For sure. Tatum's still hooping too, man.
Yeah, he performed. And I think Tatum's going to do good. I think Tatum's going to show up.
To me, man, and when Tatum is on, Tatum is the best player in this series. But he has to be on. As long as he's on, he'll be good.
Yeah, because we are questioning it. Can Butler get back to what he was in the early games?
But yeah, ever since he went down with the knee, bro, it's just, I don't know. He just don't look the same to me, bro. Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, if he's not right, then
that changes everything.
They're done.
Yeah, that's the heart and soul. That's their offense. That's their defense. That's their leadership. That's their guy. Like, Bam can ball, but Bam is not going to carry you through a series like that when you have a Tatum and you have a Jaylen Brown and company. Like, that's not going to be it. is going to be a Jimmy. Jimmy helps create for guys like Tyler Hero as well, man, who obviously know he missed, the last game with the groin and stuff like that, man.
So, yeah, I'm going Celtics tonight, and I'll stick with them winning the series.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Is that what you're going with?
Come on, man. You know I'm rolling with Boston,
Celtics
man.
tonight, too?
Hey, man, when I pull up with my green hat on the next time, just know, all right? Let's go, man.
Understood.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Do we have any more Super Chats?
I think that was it. I think so. Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, the last one was about B-Hunt, and we're good.
I like it, man. Well, I will say this, man. Make sure y'all like the video. For everybody that was been up here with us this whole time, man. Y'all been. The chat has been robust, has been very active, and we salute you all for that. Supers as well. Let's keep those likes rolling, though, baby, for the culture. All right. But yeah, man. That is it for today. Then. Yeah, that was fun.
It was a blast.
Heck yeah. Let's do it again on Friday, man.
Works for me.
I like it. So yeah, with that being said, man, salute everybody, man, that's been with us today. Y'all stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Absolutely, man. You can never do enough of that, right? But yeah, and until next time, baby.
Peace.